do it.
I like it. All right. Welcome to Master Memories, the podcast where my friends talk about their lives. Today on Wednesday, March 8th, I'm here with Jared Drew Morris, aka, do you have any nicknames?
In high school they called me J-Mo.
J-Mo?
Yeah.
How'd that happen?
I don't know. It was like, I never really had a nickname growing up, and then in 8th grade at like when you finish like a sport, you have like a pizza party and like you celebrate or whatever. I won some award, and then at the end of the ceremony, my coach called me up and was like, J-Mo, get up here. I never heard that name before. I'm just like, not gonna like that. So yeah, J-Mo's it.
Oh yeah, it's your first and last name.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
I was trying to play, is it Jared Money or like?
Nah, it kind of fits though. J Money, I like that too.
Yeah. No, I fuck with it. Yeah. So, what is your first memory of me and you?
So, freshman year, I remember going into the dorms. It was like our first night. So during the day, obviously we had all of the mount
like launch week.
Yeah, the launch week type stuff, team building, all in the Oval. And then I remember Adam came up to me that night and was like, hey, we're going out if you want to go out. I'm like, hell yeah, I'm going out. I'm in college now.
Yeah.
So then I remember we went back to the dorm. Me and Connor were like, all right, Adam said come down and hang out with them in your guys' suite. And I remember I walked in there and Adam was like, yo, here's a natty. And I remember telling myself, I'm just like, I'm never gonna drink natty. Natty's gross, beer is gross. I promise when I get to college, I will turn down natties. And the first thing I was like, yo, drink this natty. And I was like, absolutely. Cracked it and I sat down, and it was you and Evan playing against Adam and Hudson and Snap, sitting die at your table. And I remember sitting there, and I remember you introduced yourself, and I was like, oh, what's up? And then you just started going on about the stories you've had of just being in your room and just being in Mount, and you started breaking down. I was like, all right, this is how you get through Mount. And then you started breaking down shit. I'm like, you know what, this isn't gonna be that bad. There's actually cool kids here, so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Dude, I don't know. What was your orientation like that group?
You talking about the first day we got here?
Or do you have to come to, yeah, you were before COVID. You had to come to, down to campus for a day or two, schedule your classes and all that stuff, right?
Yeah. So I remember Carter was actually in my group for that.
Oh, word.
So yeah, we just came here, and then they showed you around campus. They talked to you about where you could potentially live, and then I remember they put us up in the honors dorms, Taylor Tower, I think it is. And I didn't have a roommate, and it was just me. And then they gave you this laundry list of classes you could choose from, and they were just like, all right, have your schedule figured out by tomorrow. And I remember I was so stressed. Luckily, Connor at the time had his a week before me, so I was calling him, I was calling his sister. I was like, dude, I don't know how to schedule classes. But it was so strange because you just came here, you were in some tour group, in case you didn't know. You just literally walked around campus. And then I remember that night, I went and got ice cream with Carter and a couple people, and then I literally just sat there in my bed trying to figure out a schedule. Woke up the next morning, scheduled my classes, and left.
Yeah.
It was so strange.
So did you, or outside of Carter, was there any other people that you still hang out with from that orientation group, or I guess even freshman year?
Yeah. So funny enough, me and Carter met two girls at the time but they weren't in our group, but we just I think we went to the North Rec after all the group stuff was done, and we ran into them.
Yeah.
And then we ran into them and said what's up, and we're yo, we're gonna get ice cream later if you wanna come with us. And they're like, sure. And I'm really good with faces but horrible with names. And so I remember they came with us, we went and got ice cream. The next day we ended up scheduling next to each other. And I just kind of forgot about them, and then get to campus, don't see them. And then second semester when I rushed DSP, I am walking around the rush room, and they were both in DSP.
Oh,
so
no way.
Yeah, they both ended up rushing DSP. It was my friends Katarina and Amanda, and I remember the nostalgia of just looking at them, I know you from somewhere. And she was like, I have no idea what you're talking about. And then once I brought it up, I'm we scheduled next to each other, we went and got ice cream. She's like, oh my gosh, that was you.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's crazy when you see somebody, then you kind of just a quick interaction, then kind of forget, and then you run into you, like, oh my gosh, I know you.
Yeah. The reason I brought this roundabout memory up is because my orientation, I was with all the engineering kids, nerds. So I remember when I came into Mount, I was who of the nerds is the coolest? Because I knew there were gonna be other majors, but this might be I was like, okay, which of this group is the best of the best? And then I met Evan, my roommate.
Yeah.
And then I was like, fuck, thank God. I don't know, I feel like that first night for me was crazy, but now that you're saying, I feel like I do remember giving you guys the rundown, you, Connor, I don't know if Hyatt or any of them were there yet, but
yeah, I don't know if they tagged along yet. I think it was just me, Connor, and Carter for the first night.
that's what it was.
Yeah.
Because Carter actually slept in my room that first night.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, because he got kicked out.
Yeah.
I forgot about that. I remember. That's so funny you say that because I remember being in Ethel with you guys, and we were just then.
We walked you to Ethel.
Yes. We all went to Ethel, and I remember being in there and it's so crazy thinking back on that because Sophia was there and it was she was gonna be my mom and she knew it but she wasn't allowed to tell me and she was introducing herself. I'm like, why is this girl being so nice to me? Blah blah. And then but I remember we were the night was winding down and we were trying to get everybody together and Carter was just sitting there looking at his phone. He's like, so where can I sleep tonight? It was the first night of college. He couldn't even sleep in his own bed.
No, it's so because he slept on the most uncomfortable futon we had.
Yes.
I love those futons; they were free, but those shits were not.
Yes.
Comfy.
Speaking of sleeping on futons, do you remember that one night that I slept on your futon and then gaslighted you into thinking I did it, that you dreamed it?
I feel like you're gaslighting me into.
No. Okay. I swear to God, because Hudson was asleep on the beanbag.
Yeah.
So you know how you had So I don't know whether you had two beanbags or you had two futons.
Two futons,
right?
one beanbag.
Okay. So I remember there was one night. It was the night my roommate lost his virginity. Funny enough.
Hell yeah.
I slept on your futon, and you and Hudson was asleep on the beanbag. You were asleep on the other futon, and I texted Adam, hey, I need someone to sleep tonight. He's like, bet you can rent the futon. You guys were already asleep.
Yeah.
I walk in, fall asleep on the futon. In the middle of the night, you get up to go pee, and you're like, Jared, is that you? I'm like, yeah, sorry, I'm crashing. And he's like, oh, okay. Go back to bed. I leave before you're there the next. I leave before you wake up the next morning.
Yeah.
And then Hudson comes up to me the next morning. He's like, you slept in a room last night, did you? I'm like, yeah. And he was like, I was like, I'm not sure if Landon's gonna remember. And Hudson would be like, it would be so funny if you just pretended you didn't. And he came up to you, he was like, did you sleep in my room last night? And I'm like, no. You're like, I had the most vivid dream that I woke up and saw you on my futon. I'm like, I don't know what you're talking about, man. And I swear, I'm not even kidding you. I think I let it go on for a year. And then I brought it up to you sophomore year and you're like, oh my gosh, I hate you so much. But yeah.
Dude, I've been fucked with and bamboozled. So, did you ever hear the Magic Johnson story?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Retell it though.
So, during Mountain Retreat, first year retreat, Stanley died.
Mm-hmm.
The day we were coming back. And so, I was I was just getting into 2K, used the all-time Lakers.
Yeah.
And someone said that Magic Johnson died. When I was, I was like, what? No way. And they were like, yeah, it happened a couple days ago. And someone said oh, Stanley died the same day. That's probably why I didn't hear about it. I was like, damn, that sucks. Because I thought being a comic nerd growing up, Stanley would be such a massive death that any other death would just be thrown out the day. You know, Stanley died, and for months I believed it until one night, me, Evan, and Adam are staying up in my freshman year double. We're up till 5 a.m. Adam has an 8 a.m. the next day. We're just fucking around, and Evan says something about Magic leaving as the GM. And I'm like, what do you mean?
It's dead.
And Adam behind the scenes just going because apparently everyone knew but Evan somehow.
Yeah.
Everyone except for my roommate knew that they were this big lie of Magic Johnson was dead. And I don't know how they're gonna keep it up considering he was in the news and I was just I was getting enough into sports where I was checking the sports news. But I was no, he died the same day as Magic Johnson. Let me look it up. I was okay, and then I was looking at his Wikipedia page. I'm there's no date of death here. And then I looked at the news and it was Magic Johnson this, Magic Johnson that.
It was
Magic
2
Johnson's
days ago.
not dead. What the I'm just freaking out at 4 a.m. You guys lied to me for 5 months and they kept it up. It wasn't just Evan. It wasn't just Hudson and Adam. It was
And I think I knew about it too.
Yeah. No, this was when I was a freshman. Yeah. But
the story,
so many people knew about it. so many people had led me on, and the person to have it all falter was my roommate. It's just like stupid ass story.
That's so funny.
Yeah.
See, that's the thing about being able to live off campus because of COVID was like so fun. Like having a house
Yeah.
as a sophomore was like such a blessing, but missing out on like the memories in the dorms of like, because like your grade like shaped my college experience, and especially like my freshman year like so drastically. Like I remember walking into the 8-man and being like, yo, like where do I buy beer around here? And like that's what I'm saying, is like I really don't know any of the kids below me, because like the coolest thing was like if you had nothing to do, you literally would just knock on one of the sophomores' doors and be like, what are you guys doing tonight?
Yeah.
You're like, oh, I'm going to tuna, I'm going to hear you. But, like that's what I'm saying, is like I wish I had created like connections with that grade below me, because it was just so fun being in the dorms and everybody living that close. Like I remember I was on the second floor common room,
Yeah.
like more than my own room. Like it was, I miss it so much.
Dude, I always see you guys as my freshmen. Like it's crazy the fact that you guys
Yeah.
are graduating. It's
I
like
know.
I remember like walking down the hall and like Timmy was like, "Hey, do you know how to like hook up the Xbox?" And like now like Pat, or I don't know if he's still like BPAT president, but like president of an organization.
That president.
Still?
Yeah.
Okay, still BPAT president. You know, like you're like Arnold Schwarzenegger reincarnated. Hyatt's got a hot dog fan page. Like everyone's going on to do so crazy shit.
It's absurd, dude.
Yeah.
It's like, and that's what I'm saying, is like in my mind, like seeing you here, like you're not like graduated, you're not like doing adult shit, like you're not still in like to me you're still like living in Bowen.
Yeah.
Like it's.
No, I'm never gonna get over those 2 months that like I missed of like my sophomore year of, you know, the last like hurrah of Bowen. But like I just feel so bad for like you guys and like the guys below you, like that COVID year, like you said, you never got like your freshman. Like I don't know, like you just like there's something about just walking around the halls and just like, especially like living on the second floor, like walking up and seeing like all the freshmen in the study room and like helping people out and just shooting the shit. Like
Yeah, and like I want to feel bad for myself, but at the same time, like I think the grade below me got it way worse, because like we had a semester and a quarter
Yeah.
of normality, like walking back to the dorms, blacked out from the bars, like being there with all of your best friends, and then it got cut short. But like I remember talking to a lot of the freshmen the year after me, and it was like you couldn't leave your door open,
Yeah.
like everywhere you had to walk with a mask, like you didn't know anybody on your floor. So like that's the thing, is like I feel like I got like enough taste of the dorm life to where it was like, yes, I wanted more, but I also like experienced it fully, versus like the kids that like only knew their roommates in their dorms, and like
Yeah.
they had to like find some sort of like Greek life or some organization, or they just simply like weren't gonna make friends. So
yeah.
take it to grain of salt.
I wonder what like COVID's gonna do like socially, just because like I don't know, I feel like being indoors for like a year or two, just like people like I don't know, for me it was like when I came back, it was like, what do I talk about outside of like the giant virus going on in the
Yeah.
world?
No, that's what I'm saying, is like I remember that's the reason like I rushed to social frat, is like I came back and like it was just me and my housemates, and every weekend we would party with like the same group of mountain girls. Like every weekend, like they'd come over, we'd sit in our house and drink, and then we'd go to bed and then just do the same thing the next day. Like I didn't make any new friends, like nothing we talked about was new, like it was just everything felt so repetitive. Like you just sit there, do schoolwork, drink, Uber Eats, and go to bed. Like that's all it
That's
was.
the life.
Yeah, honestly, it kind of was the life at the time.
Yeah.
But that's what I'm saying. You had nothing to talk about. Like everything was COVID related. Like every time you got an email, it was about this and that, and like it's just it affected so many kids. I made a lot of fond memories at the house on Northwood during COVID, but like never going back. You couldn't pay me.
No, dude, you guys were a hike. Like
Yeah.
if we ended up going back in person during that lease, like I would have felt so sorry for you guys, because like it was like a 10-minute walk from us.
Yeah, and I remember what's crazy is, so we lived in that house over the summer, because like our lease for the house we're at now started in August.
Yeah.
And when we were there over the summer, so like it would be me, Filer, and then Deutsch would come home on the weekends, and we would go to Gasworks every Thursday.
Yeah.
In the short notice, so we would Uber there, get drunk, and then we would walk home. it's like a 2.5 mile walk.
Yeah.
And I don't know how we did it, but we ripped it every Thursday. And like every time we wanted to go to the gym, you literally like not only are you cutting out an hour and a half being at the gym, but then you're cutting out another hour of just travel time of just walking to the RPAC. Like I remember, we were so far off campus that like 50% of our neighbors weren't even students.
Mm-hmm.
Like we got the cops called on us like regularly.
Yeah,
Dude,
I remember you telling me about
Yeah,
that.
did I ever tell you about the COVID party we got called on us?
What was that like the first couple weeks, or was that?
No, it was a little bit. It was probably like November, but so Connor comes up from the basement. Is like, I don't have any sense of taste. And I'm like, shit, it's our time. So we all like waited out a couple days. Everybody starts to experience symptoms. We're like, all right, we all gotta go get tested. So we all pile into a car, go get tested. We're all positive. Like, shit, okay. So we're thinking to ourselves, like, we're all positive. It's the weekend. We're not gonna go see anybody, so we're like, let's just go out, play some die, all of us COVID positive kids. And the way that the house is set up is like the sidewalk, there's like a hill, and then the house is on a hill. So like if I'm standing on like the space in front of my porch, there's probably 30 feet between me and the sidewalk. So nobody's in danger, like just up there throwing a die. So all of us are just hanging out, and our neighbor, who was like super nosy, like always up in our shit, like he'd always come over and like, he was like a really older dude. He'd always come over and like ask for a beer and a cigarette or something like that. I'm like, dude, like we're neighbors, like I'm not just gonna feed you my beer. And then he starts to like walk up the stairs, like, hey man, like you probably shouldn't come up here, like all of us have COVID. He's like, oh, what are you guys doing outside? I'm like, well, we're not putting anybody in danger, like we all have COVID, like I don't think it's a big deal. He's like, okay, well be safe. And then 30 minutes later, sirens pull up, and there's 2 cop cars, and the cops get out, and we're like, hey, like, I don't know if you guys want to come up here, like, we have COVID. He's like, yeah, that's why we're here. We got word that you're throwing a COVID party. Because, like, do you remember hearing, like, the rumors about, like, somebody would get COVID, and then they'd throw a party?
Yeah, so everyone would get COVID.
Everybody would get COVID, because everybody wanted that, like, 90-day immunity.
Yeah.
So that's what they thought was happening.
You guys were just playing die.
Yeah, we were just playing die. We all had COVID, and like there was nobody that didn't live at the house there.
Yeah.
And so he came up and like they genuinely like were ready to fine us for having a COVID party, but that just tells you how much of a fever dream COVID was.
Dude, it feels like the weirdest part is like now it's just like a thing. It's like you don't like I don't know. I was in the airport the other day. It's like you don't even wear a mask at the airport anymore. It's like I think it's just the hospitals, and that's the only place that they care about it. Otherwise, it's just like it's like getting the cold or the flu. It's just like stay home.
It's crazy. It's like and like if you have like COVID symptoms, it's not even like always like you have to go test for COVID. Like sometimes you can just chalk it up as a cold and stay home. Like, like it's so strange because like in my mind, I remember like obviously like being in the moment, it seems like a lot more drastic than it is. But like when I was sitting at my home, like when we got sent back. Like in my mind, I'm like, we're wearing masks forever. Like I was totally convinced that like that was gonna be the new norm. That like when I raised my kids, like they were gonna be masked up everywhere. Like I was fully like expecting COVID to be like world changing forever. And like obviously it definitely is, but like I thought I was gonna be like locked down forever.
Yeah. No, I agree. Like even I don't know the first episode of the pod like a year ago, I was saying that like even though it's like starting to go away, I think it's gonna be cyclical. Where like during like flu season and whatnot, we wear masks everywhere, and I was just like,
now it's just
okay,
like, yeah, you can wear a mask if you want. If you don't, no, it doesn't really care.
Yeah,
you've been doing this for a year.
First episode was sometime in April last year.
Shit.
Yeah,
I'm excited to be here, man. Thank you.
Yeah, I'm excited to have you. Dude. It's you're on season 2 too, because season 1 was back in the Vatican, whereas season 2 is here in the Union. A little more sterile, you know.
Yeah.
Walls and not nearly as comfortable chairs, unfortunately. But
I don't mind the chair actually.
Yeah, this is the setup. What were you doing today before we started filming?
Wednesdays I don't have classes, so woke up about 8:30, had breakfast, I went and hit legs, the RPAC. It was pretty miserable. I hate hitting legs. I had an intramural game last night, so my legs were shot, and then I woke up and I squatted. So I wasn't enjoying that, but I don't believe in excuses, so gotta make it to the gym every day, whether you like it or not.
Yeah, that's the mentality.
Yeah.
Last summer I went from hating leg day to it being my favorite day.
Really?
Logan,
still to this day?
No. That was back when I was in the 7-day grind where every day I was lifting, like, you know, counting the macros, all this stuff. And you know, leg day is like all right now. I don't hate it with the passion I used to.
Yeah.
But like I remember talking to Logan because I used to like run in the morning and then lift at night.
Yeah.
And I remember being like, I ran yesterday. Do I have to do leg day? And it's like, no, it's like the most important day, like testosterone and all this stuff. And I'm like, fuck. But like eventually it's just like, I don't know. I think it's just like the workout he had me on. It was like a short but effective day versus like, I don't know, chest and tries where like sometimes it's like, you know, don't get me wrong, I love bench press.
Yeah.
I love the three variations of bench press I do, but it's like sometimes I'm just there and it's like, damn, I've been here for like a minute. Versus like leg day, you're in, you do your shit, you get out.
Yeah, and the thing with legs that somebody brought up to me the other day that I thought was like a really good point is like you can have like shitty chest days or like shitty arm days where it's like you're working hard but like the pump isn't like it's not like the greatest pump in the world. You feel kind of lethargic, and like don't get me wrong, there's shitty leg days. I have a lot of shitty leg days, but you're gonna leave feeling sore. Like your legs are gonna feel like you're gonna be wobbling out of there, but like and you're gonna have a crazy leg pump. So like that's the thing is like if you really like push yourself, whether like you're pushing as much weight as you really want to, like you're gonna walk out of there and your legs are gonna hurt. So like that's the only thing that I do love about it is like you're gonna get your money's worth.
Yeah, I think the worst leg days, it's like, the worst days in general is like the first day back, like that soreness of like I haven't used these muscles in forever. But the leg day of like, because Badsy pointed out to me, it's like the only muscle that you're like using constantly to like walk to whatever. That 4-day process of like sore, then really sore, then what the fuck is happening to me, and then why is this still going on? It's not even that bad. It's just like it's day 4.
Yeah, that's what scares me is like I'll hit legs on Wednesdays. I'll wake up on Thursday like, damn, my legs are sore. And then like knowing in the back of my mind that it's gonna be worse tomorrow makes no sense. I'm just like,
I know.
I'm walking around, I'm like breaking down that lactic acid, and then I'm just like, I still know tomorrow I'm not even gonna be able to get out of bed. It doesn't make any sense. But like to your point, I could not stand leg day, like hated squatting. And I feel like the thing that has like got me excited about like different muscle groups that I wasn't like normally excited to hit is just doing either like small tweaks to my form or small tweaks to my exercises, because every time I try something new it gets me like excited to go back to it. So like I dislocated my shoulder like last semester and I had to hit legs only for like a month and a half.
Yeah.
And I loved it. I like my legs started to get strong, so I'm like, oh, this is actually enjoyable.
Yeah.
And then after a month and a half I'm like, okay, I fucking hate legs, I'm never hitting this again. But then I saw some dude on TikTok that's like, you can move a lot more weight if you low bar squat. And I'm like, oh, that's something new to try. Tried low bar squatting, started moving a lot more weight than I expected. I was like, okay, I'm in love with legs again. But I did that a month ago, so now it's worn off again. So like, that's what I'm saying, is just like finding new exercises and just like different things to switch it up to where it's not like monotonous when you're in there. Because like, if you go and hit legs and it's the same leg day every single day, like it's misery.
Yeah.
So I like switching it up because it just kind of keeps me motivated to keep going back.
It's like any relationship, you gotta find new ways to fall in love.
Yeah. Oh, that was romantic.
Yeah.
But yeah, I totally agree. That's kind of how I am with the gym. Ben actually texted me yesterday.
Yeah.
And he told me that he was like switching up his workout split to the one that I sent him like 4 or 5 months ago.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, that one's great, but I also like I switched. Like I'm using this one. And he's like, oh, why do you keep switching? I'm like, oh, just keep myself entertained.
Yeah.
Like I equate it to like your dream body or whatever is like 80% what you eat, 20% how hard you push yourself.
Mm-hmm.
So like when you're in the gym, I like in my mind like I'm pushing myself to failure, but I'm also like making sure I'm having fun with it, because like if you're not, then you're not gonna keep going back. So
yeah, it's. I remember last summer, like, because every summer is always when I take myself like super seriously to work out. And last summer, I was doing like twice a days, and I don't know, they're getting to a point where it's like I actually like look forward to going to the gym.
Yeah.
But I feel like part of it is getting into that cycle, that routine.
Mm-hmm.
Like once you're in it, it might be easy to break, but it's like you can almost look forward to that routine.
yeah,
But
absolutely.
Yeah.
And that's one of the craziest things that like I realized is that like when I first started lifting, it was me and Swaggy would go to Planet Fitness 3 times a week.
Really?
During COVID, yeah. We'd go Monday, Wednesday, Friday. And I remember it was just like I hated Planet Fitness. I hated the exercises we were doing. Like I wasn't moving weight. I didn't like the way that I looked. So like, I couldn't stand it. And then like once I figured out what I was doing and I got in that routine, like, it's not that like I like really look forward to like my shoulders hurt every time I hit shoulders.
Mm-hmm.
But like I'm always excited for shoulder day, just because like the the walk to the gym, the music, the pre-workout, like just the feeling of like caffeine running through your body, like getting yourself hyped up for the workout, like that's the best part. So when people ask me like, do you like lifting? My answer is always like, no, I love lifting. But at the end of the day, like I don't really love lifting. I just love like the feeling before, the pump, and then the feeling after. But like in terms of like when I'm on that like third set of heavy shoulder press, I'm like, I want to go home.
Yeah.
Like I'm not genuinely having fun, but it's just like the process of it is like that's what you fall in love with.
Dude, walking out of the gym after a nice sauna, nice light day, like there's nothing like it.
And that's one of the most underrated things about the RPAC is the sauna. Like that's.
No, that's. I didn't realize until I left the RPAC. The RPAC sauna is ridiculous.
Oh, it's a cheat code.
Yeah.
It's so nice. And like granted, if you go on like a hungover Sunday, like it's gonna be packed in there.
Yeah.
But like if you just like normally like I didn't do it today just because like I have a couple exams, so I didn't want to just like spend my whole day at the RPAC.
Mm-hmm.
But just like if you go and you rip the sauna like after a leg day and like sit there and like stretch out a little bit in there for 15 minutes, you walk out a new person.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's just the serotonin boost, you just walk out of there, you're just like, okay, I'm better now.
Yeah. No, dude, I've been going to East Porta and like I've never seen so many men in a room at every single hour. Every day. It's like you gotta stand for a little bit.
Yeah.
You gotta wait for a seat.
Yeah.
You know?
You gotta wait for your set. Yo, how many sets you got left? Is that in Easton?
That's the one in the yard right over by, you know where the Chick-fil-A is over there?
Yeah. Okay. That's Grandview, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Cool.
Yeah. Well, that's how I'm getting so big.
Yeah, okay. Like, I'm really just not trying to gas you up because I'm on your podcast right now.
Go for it.
I think that your transformation has been probably top 5 out of all my friends that I know. Like,
I mean, continue.
but because like, I remember you came into college like I'm really not trying to insult you right now.
Yeah.
You came into college. You came into college decently skinny, and then obviously everybody puts on the freshman 15. You gained a little bit of weight, but then like all it took was like a text that you sent to me. You sent a couple texts to Logan. I remember you came to our house and you like were genuinely like. You can tell when somebody like asks you questions about fitness and lifting and eating, how serious they are or not. Or if they come up to you and you're like oh, you look great, man. Like what do you like? How often do you go to the gym?
Yeah.
6 days a week. Like oh, do you like eat lots of chicken and rice? I'm like yeah. Versus like if you go up to somebody and be like, hey man, what's your split? Like how much do you do cardio? Like when do you do abs? Like how do you like balance your macros? Like you came with like genuine like goal defining questions, and when you left I looked at Logan, I'm like he's gonna figure it out, and here you are.
Yeah.
Like
Let
obviously
myself go a little bit, but we're getting back on the horse.
I mean that's what I'm saying, it's like everybody has their ups and downs, and like obviously like I like the way that I look, but like this is my dream body, like obviously like everybody has to keep pushing, but like in terms of like your ups and downs, like top 5 for sure.
Appreciate it.
Absolutely.
Dude, it's crazy because like I don't know. I feel like I don't know the right term. It's like my weight just fluctuates all the time because I always get like comfortable. Let's go with that.
Yeah.
During the year, and then summer it's like you said, when I go try hard, and it's like I go from like, or I just need to figure out like some sort of consistency because like I'm either like 5 to 7 days in the gym or not at all, and there's a healthy medium in between there.
Yeah, absolutely. And like obviously, it's easy for me to say because like I have class twice a week. I have a job that only makes me work 9 p.m. and later. So like there's nothing really that like inhibits my lifting schedule. So like obviously it's easy to say this before I start like a 9 to 5, which is gonna be gritty. But like if you just like find time to lift like 3 to 4 days a week, like eat clean with a cheat day like once or twice a week, like you can really like have a decent work-life balance and like feel good about yourself.
Yeah.
Like it's nice.
There's something about that moderation where you're not going, sicko on either way, just like doing life.
Yeah, and that's the thing is like, I feel like I'm going like really hard at it now because I can. Like I'll eat like super clean Monday through Saturday, and then Sunday like I'll rip some Chipotle, like maybe order a pizza, something like that, have that cheat day.
Yeah.
But in terms of just like overall mental health and like overall like long-term sustainability, like I know once I start working and like have that 9 to 5, like there's gonna be days where I'm like, oh, I'm going out to lunch with a coworker. I'm gonna get something that's not as healthy just because like I earned it. But like that's the thing is like consistency is gonna outweigh that like one term blip where you eat a cheeseburger and some fries. Like it's like in my mind now, a lot of times like I'll eat super clean, and then there'll be like a week where it's like back-to-back days where like my mom will come and visit, and then like I'll get like I'll like go through my wallet and have like a free pizza coupon, and like I'll have back-to-back days of bad eating. I'm like, oh my god, I just ruined all my gains. It's over for me. But like in reality, like if you 20 out of the 30 days a week like get like do some sort of physical activity, eat clean, like have some cheeseburgers, have some pizzas. Like, live
Same thing. You earned it. You know, like obviously, you know, like if you want to like consistently get better, you know, you gotta find like some regimen. It's like you can't live your entire life just eating chicken and rice.
Yeah.
Like I love chicken and rice. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
But it's like there's more to the world.
It's old fast.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that's the thing that's like, there's like a really thin line. I don't even say it's a thin line. There's a difference between like wanting to be a bodybuilder and wanting to be healthy. And like I'm at that like teetering point where it's like after I graduate this year, I'm gonna have to make a decision. Like, am I just gonna like go to the gym as much as I can, eat as clean as I can, and just like enjoy my life? Or do I like really want to take this seriously and like continue to be like the chicken and rice guy? Like how like you have to make that decision.
Yeah.
And I don't think there's anything wrong with either. I definitely think that like not being a bodybuilder is like a lot healthier for you, and it's probably more sustainable.
Yeah.
But I mean, because like I don't have any like pressing things that's keeping me from not like pursuing bodybuilding, like I love it, but we'll have to see.
Yeah, it's like you said, it's like a point in your life, like why not?
Mm-hmm.
Like there's not a lot going, or not to say there's not, but there's not like family.
Yeah, I was gonna say I have no
Marriage.
I think it's safe to say I have no real life responsibilities right now.
As you should.
Like I have to turn in a couple assignments here and there. I have to pay a couple bills here and there. But other than that, like I could go home and go to bed right now and just lay in bed all day and nothing would happen. So
That's a good fun.
yeah, it is kind of nice.
Yeah. Speaking of your day, what's your typical day or week look like right now?
It's a good question. So Monday, Wednesday, Friday, no class, which is really nice. So my Mondays are usually like chore day, errand day.
Mm-hmm.
So I usually like Monday, Wednesday, Friday with no class. I usually try and wake up around 9, sleep in a little bit, but like I know how fast this year is going by, and I don't want to wake up at noon every day and miss half the day.
Yeah.
So like, I'll wake up at 9 on Mondays especially, rip the gym, and then usually from the gym I'll go straight to Vitamin Shop, re-up on whatever supplements I'm low on, go to the grocery store, meal prep, do my laundry. Mondays I usually don't even open my laptop. Like Monday is strictly like everything that I need to do to like prepare my week, that's what I'm doing. So like by the time that I like wake up, lift, grocery, laundry, meal prep, it's usually about like 7, and then I'll just like kind of hang out, call it a day.
Yeah.
Tuesday and Thursday I have class from 8 a.m. to 4 p.m.
Did you just schedule it all in like a big block?
Yeah.
Okay.
So it's like 4 classes in a row, and I did that just specifically so I could have Monday, Wednesday, Friday off.
As you should.
So it's like wake up 7, class till 4, go home, eat real quick, rip the gym. By the time I come back, it's like 7 p.m. and like I'm usually my Tuesdays and Thursdays are like pretty calm.
Yeah.
Except Thursday night I usually end up working, which sucks because tank night's the worst thing on the entire planet.
Yeah, no, I remember being that freshman, sophomore going to tank night.
Yeah, and that's what's crazy is like being on the other side, like being the fun police, like catching kids stealing tanks, remembering I was the kid that was stealing tanks.
Yeah.
Like it just it feels so shitty, but it pays the bills. But yeah, so Tuesday, Thursday is usually pretty calm. Monday, Wednesday, pretty much the exact same. Except Wednesday I'll usually, like today, I'll usually wake up around 9, hit the gym, come back, shower, and then I usually go post up at Knowlton, like find a corner in Knowlton or go to KSA Cafe, grind out some work. I gotta make a study guide, and I have an exam at 7 p.m. tonight.
Like the Knowlton library or just the building in general?
Just the building in general, yeah. I like the architecture building. Because like I feel like when I'm at Fisher, I see too many Fisher kids.
Yeah.
And it's like, they always like, I love my friends, but like they're gonna come up and talk to me, and like
Yeah.
I'm gonna get distracted. It's like I can't lock in.
You need to zone in, yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, Monday, Wednesday, pretty much just wake up, lift, do work, or do errands. Tuesday, Thursday is pretty much just class, lift, and then either work. And then the weekends have been good. I like the I work a lot of weekends just because that's what unfortunately being a bouncer is. But
Yeah.
like the days that I don't, I'm trying to day drink as much as possible. try to enjoy the rays.
Hell yeah.
That's like the biggest battle for me right now is like, this is gonna sound really bad, but I think I should be drinking more than I am. Trust me, that sounds terrible. But there's like a lot of times on like, it'll be like a Saturday, and I'm like not really in the mood to drink. Like all my roommates are drinking, and I'm thinking to myself like, oh, do I really need the calories from the beers? And like, at the end of the day, like, I should just have fun and hang out with my roommates. Like,
Yeah.
like that's where I'm at. Like sometimes I'll be like super hesitant and I'm like, oh, do I need to crack a beer? But like, that's the point where it's like I'm running out of weekends to spend with my roommates. So
The senior experience.
yeah, exactly. So
Yeah. But
That's-
go ahead.
no, I'm just saying like my weeks have been pretty tame, especially like Monday through Thursday. It's just work, gym. But the weekends I'm just and Sundays I've learned to love Sundays. Even football is Sundays.
Mhm.
Because like obviously it's probably easier because I don't have class on Monday, but it's just
Yeah.
kind of a nice little detox day.
Yeah. So you got all your Sunday scares on Monday now.
Yeah, quite literally yes. I push it off a day, but yeah, that's my week.
Yeah. Like I said, it's a very senior experience of being like, damn, I don't want to drink, but how many of these do I have left?
Yeah, it's so tough because like it'll be like a Thursday and a couple of my roommates will be like, oh, we're going to Outer, and I'm just like, and see, this is what I need to like disassociate drinking from, especially becoming an adult,
Mhm.
is like drinking doesn't always mean blacking out.
Yeah.
Like I can go to Outer and have a couple wells, get a nice buzz, hang out with my friends.
Yeah.
Like, it doesn't have to be like, oh, I'm gonna wake up with the worst hangover. See, because when in my mind, drinking is like hangover. Like, because like I have terrible hangovers. It's like I'm not even kidding you. Last Thursday, it was like really nice. So we dartied, and then I went out that night. And I got home at like 1, and the hangover. I'm not even kidding you. Kept me in bed until 4.
Jeez.
Like I literally, like I felt so miserable. So like in my mind, I mean, if I start drinking, I'm gonna wake up with like a hangover tomorrow. I'm gonna be unproductive. But if I just like, I don't know, have a couple beers, mix in a water here and there, I can enjoy myself drinking and not have to die. So
Yeah.
that's what I need to start practicing, especially like becoming an adult and like going to different.
Work events.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like
not being.
Yeah,
blacked
I
out.
probably shouldn't
Yeah.
black out at corporate events. Yeah, that's an
Yeah.
idea.
Back when Nationwide used to have a bar on their rooftop. Apparently, they had an HR person whenever they had the corporate outings there, because at least one person would be the drunk idiot who would get way too drunk and get
Mhm.
fired.
Yeah, I was gonna say it's funny you say that because when I was interning this summer, we were all in Milwaukee and they gave all the interns tickets to the Brewers game.
Oh, yeah.
And they gave us also $20 drink tickets.
Oh yeah.
And yeah, and we're all pretty much 21, some of us were even 22.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember there was a bus from this place called Jack. So we were like, all right, we'll just maybe pregame a little bit of the dorms, because we stayed in dorms, and
Yeah.
we'll lift to the game, call it even. And then we looked it up online and found that there was this bar called Jack's, where if you bought a drink at the bar, you got a free bus ride to the game. So we're like, this is the greatest deal ever. So
Yeah.
we Uber to Jack's, start slamming wells, bus comes and picks us up. We get to the game by the second inning, rip the 2 free drink tickets. I bought a couple extra beers, and like, I'm definitely drunk, but not like I talked to my recruiter when I was there, and I didn't feel uncomfortable having a
Yeah.
conversation. So like I wasn't like super drunk. But there was a couple of interns that you could tell this was like their first time like drinking at like a corporate event, because they were like this one poor girl like fell down the stairs like at the Brewers game. So it's like you put a bunch of 21-year-old kids and it's like drink responsibly, and it's like we gotta learn how to do that.
I feel like that there definitely is a reason that they did that. You know, they wanna pick the money.
Yeah, I was gonna say, like, in the back of my mind, I'm like, this is the greatest thing ever, but also I was just kind of thinking to myself, I'm like, you could blow this right here, so don't be too drunk, don't do anything stupid. But
No, I feel
yeah, it was a good time.
Other thing is, side note, Knowlton Library is my cheat code. Like whenever I needed to study.
Is it really?
Yeah, because it's like quiet enough where like you can really zone in. There's enough people there where it's like you can't just like listen to a video without like headphones
Yeah.
or whatever. And like you said, like no one else knows about it. Like
Mm-hmm.
maybe not. I mean, by the time this is posted,
Yeah.
and, you're gonna get this in like half a year.
Yeah.
So I don't know. That was my study cheat code.
That's fourth floor, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And like I said, enough people go there where it's like it's not popping, but it's like it's not quiet either. Yeah.
Yeah, so it's funny you say that. So like Knowlton Library I could totally do, but I have like a weird phobia of libraries.
Okay, Baldwin.
Was Baldwin scared of libraries too?
Baldwin doesn't believe in libraries.
What does that even mean?
I don't know. That's what he always said.
Yeah, so like I can count on my hands the amount of times that I've been to Thompson, and I've never been 18. Never been inside 18th once. It's like I have this weird like mental barricade where it's like when I walk into a library, I see everybody so quiet and so focused, and it's like everybody's working so much harder than me. Everybody's work is so much more difficult. Like just sit down and do it, and it's just I don't know, for some reason it stresses me out. So like that's why I like doing work in like coffee shops where there's like a little bit of background chatter and stuff like that. So me and a couple of my buddies were like, we'll go to the fourth floor, but instead of going to the library, we'll go to the city and planning.
Yeah.
Like there's like I'm in a classroom, like a little computer lab in the corner. There's like hardly everybody in there, and like even if there is a class that like goes in there, they don't take up all the seats and they don't care that we sit there. It's like we'll just sit there and do our work, and there's like a class going on or some sort of project, and we're just kind of posted up there. So like that's why I like it. I like working with a little bit of background noise because it makes me feel like I don't feel pressured to get my work done.
Yeah.
I just feel like I'm here doing my own thing. I'm gonna get my work done, but like nobody's like it's so quiet. Like you need to get this done.
It's
So-
not competitive.
Yeah. Yeah.
Where do you lean politically? Why?
Oh wow.
A little bit turn here.
Okay. I'd say that I definitely lean a little bit of left.
Mm-hmm.
So I grew up, my dad is pretty Republican to the point where he's actually in public office in my city and he ran on the Republican ballot, so I'd say that makes him sufficiently Republican.
Congrats to him.
Yeah, and I'll send him your regards. And then my mom has always definitely leaned more left. And so I remember growing up, this is such a funny story. I remember growing up and I went to a Catholic school, which is obviously like predominantly right.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember we did a mock presidential election. So like in 2008 was Obama's first term?
Yeah.
So in 2008, when was his second term? So that was
2012.
Yeah, so it was 2012, I think I was in 6th or 7th grade. And who did he run against that year?
That was Romney.
That was Romney. Okay, yes, okay, yeah. So I remember we did like a mock election, so everybody from 4th to 8th grade submitted a ballot and they counted the votes. And the end of the class, like the day before like the election, they like read over the announcements that like Obama won. And I remember I was in that chair, I was like, no, we let Obama win. And like because like my dad took me to so many like Republican political events when he was like, because he runs like a trade school too, and he was like, he would like go all over the country, like I met Boehner, he used to be the Speaker of the House, or whatever.
Yeah.
His name was Boehner. He was a Republican Speaker of the House. And I remember I met him, and like there was just like so much like Republican being pushed on me that I was just like, this is me.
Yeah.
Like before I could even like form my own political thoughts. Like I was like 12 years old at the time, and so I remember growing up, my mom and dad never really talked about politics just because like they both differed, and I feel like that just kind of leads to arguments, which is kind of like I respect of them.
Yeah.
So I guess I just kind of formed it on my own, especially like like I think what really I wouldn't say woke me up, that's kind of weird, but it's like what kind of changed my political views is like being in a private Catholic high school. It's like I saw that, like I heard some of the things that like a lot of my friends' parents would say, and like when they talk about like their stance on views, I like respect their opinion, but the reason behind it that they gave was like a little shaky, and I didn't truly believe it. And in my mind, Republicans definitely pro-business, which I totally am, and there's a lot of Republican views that I agree with.
Yeah.
But in terms of just like person and like just like human respect and empathy, and just like the idea of it's a lot of the government's job to take care of people that
Yeah.
are struggling and stuff like that, like versus private entities. I think that I feel like a lot of times a lot of people, Republican people that I talk to, lose the people side of politics, where it's like you can't raise taxes because I made this money, and I gave this wealth, and why should I get taxed more because I'm rich?
Yeah.
Like I totally understand that view, like that makes sense. But at the same time, like if you make billions of dollars and you have the ability to help fund parks and fund schools and help like the homeless, like I feel like you kind of should be obliged to do that. But
Yeah.
I mean that's just kind of the way I see it.
Yeah. I don't know. I think that growing up, I always was told, but like senior year of high school, one of my advisors told me that like something about like being, she was like super liberal, so take this with a grain of salt, but like being socially liberal and economically conservative is like I don't know, like it's like a cop-out answer, because it's like you want the good things for the people, but you don't want like to pay for it almost.
Yeah.
You know, and it's like I agree with you. It's like there's a lot towards like the fuck you, I got mine mentality. But at the same time, it's like you've seen It's Always Sunny, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
You know the scene where it's like the mental institution. It's like, well, they're closing all these mental. What? Why are they doing that? Well, we have to raise taxes. What? Why are we doing that? It's like it's a catch-22.
Yeah, because that's the episode where with the frog.
Yeah.
Okay.
Frog boy.
Frank, frog boy. Okay, yeah. See, and I totally agree. It's like you have to pick one or the other, and it's tough because like going into like obviously like next year I'm gonna be a corporate sellout. Like I'm selling my soul to corporate America.
Yeah.
It's gonna be tough. Like when I'm making entry level money and I'm like, damn, I really can't afford a lot of this shit. And taxes are tough and stuff like that. So like it's easy to it's like wherever you're getting shafted is what way you're gonna lean. So like if you're like struggling and you're like, well fuck yeah, but all the rich should help me. Like I didn't grow up with a hedge fund. Like I didn't grow up with with this great school system and stuff like that. And then if you're the person that like made it from ground zero, and maybe you made it out of the trenches and you're a billionaire now, and you're like, why the hell should I help these people when I made it out myself? So it's just, that's the thing about me that I feel like I've grown to really appreciate is like, when somebody comes up to me and they tell me their political party, I don't immediately assume something about them.
Yeah.
Because I totally, like growing up with a Republican father and a mother who's a liberal, like, I see both sides of every argument, like, and I totally understand, but to me personally, it just comes down to like, I'm only on this earth for so long, money really doesn't mean that much to me. Like, I look at it from a social perspective of like, help out as many people as you can, and I feel like leaning a little bit more liberal, that's just kind of how that works, is they help out a little bit more, I guess.
I agree. I mean, like, as crazy as it would be, like, mansions and all this stuff, it's like, you can't really bring anything after you die, so what's the point of hoarding it all? You know?
Yeah, and that's one of the things that, like, I've just kind of, like, wrestled with the idea of, like, the job that I'm taking post-grad isn't as much as, like, a lot of my other friends, because, like, I'm going into retail, and, like, marketing necessarily doesn't make as much money as, like, an engineer or something like that. And sometimes I kind of sit there and think about, like, oh, did I waste my time in college? Like, should I push to do something else? Should I have looked for a different job? And, like, you get into that mindset of, like, comparing yourself to, like, other people, how much other people are making and stuff like that. But in the back of my mind, I got to keep reminding myself that, like, if I can put food on my table, if I can afford to be able to go to the gym I want to, and go see a movie when I want to, and if there's a random expense in my life, like my car breaks down, if I can be able to afford that, like that's really all I need. Like I've never been the person where it's like I want I want a Bugatti, I want a mansion. Like obviously that shit would be so nice, but
Yeah.
that's like money has never been like I personally. So I will. I'm not gonna show you, but if I pulled up my Huntington account right now, I think I have $27, like in total. I think I have like 50 in my savings, so I have like $77 to my name right now. But like, I spent $12.50 on a trip to Punta Cana for spring break, and like I'm super excited for it. Like I'm going with all my frat friends. Like, it's gonna be the memory of my life, and like, could I have skipped out on that? Could have I invested that money and like kind of put that towards my future, so like build some wealth, stuff like that? Absolutely, but like, I believe in paying for memories. That's really the only thing that you can take with you, I guess you could say.
Yeah.
And so like, money's never been something that's like super pressing to me. Like, I remember like actually today, this morning, one of my girlfriends texted me and she was like, "Hey, are you coming to the gym?" And I was like, "Yeah." And she's like, "I forgot a Celsius. Do you think you could bring me like some of your pre-workout?" I'm like, "I actually have a Celsius from the Arnold. I went over the weekend." She was like, "Are you sure? Like I can pay you for it." And I'm like, "Don't need $2 for a Celsius out of my fridge." Like I just like nothing is ever that deep to me. So
Yeah.
that's just kind of the way I look at money.
I agree. I feel like money and memories are very inversely related. Where
Oh, absolutely.
you're either making money or you're making memories. You can't do both.
Yeah, and so like it's funny you say that. Like I told Logan this at the start of the semester. I'm like, I'm in the memory making business now. Like if I have to take out a loan, I'll have to. I swear to God, I will. Like I just like if like I get in the mindset of where like somebody will text me and be like, "Hey, this party's at this time. We should come by," or like, "Hey, we're having a cookout here," or like, "Hey, we're actually taking a trip for 2 days down here," and I'll immediately think like, "Oh, but that's probably I might have to miss a class for that, or it might be kind of expensive." But like this year, I'm an honorary Eagles fan.
Mm-hmm.
Jalen Hurts has been my fantasy quarterback for the last 2 years.
Oh, yeah.
Like I fell in love with Jalen Hurts, and then I had AJ Brown this year, who's also a former Titan.
Yeah.
So me and my buddy Quab were just like, "Fuck it, do you want to go to Philly for the Super Bowl?" And we were like,
No way.
"Yeah." So like Sunday morning at like 5:30 a.m. we drove up to Philly for the Super Bowl. Stayed there all afternoon, watched the game at a bar in Philly, drove back the next morning. Like it probably cost us like $200 each for the hotel and the drinks and the gas and stuff like that, but like it was totally worth it. And they didn't even win. Like imagine if they would have won, but like just being in that just being in that environment, just like I've never been to Philadelphia, never been to Pennsylvania, so it was just like if something comes up in my life, I just kind of want to start ripping it out and be like, you know what, it's a memory regardless of what happens.
Yeah. Fuck yeah.
Yeah.
Why not?
Why not?
What's your relationship like with your family?
I'd say right now I'd probably describe it as a little distant. I call my mom every Sunday. I actually called my sister yesterday for the first time in a couple months, and then my little brother is actually coming up tomorrow.
Oh, really?
He's practicing with the team.
No way.
Yeah, so he has his official
Good
visit
fucking
tomorrow.
hell.
Yeah, and like, I moved some exam times around, so I get to watch him practice, which is I'm super excited for. So
Dude,
he
that's
is-
so cool.
I know, I'm so excited for that. So, shout out to Derek. He's a 5-star kicker. Watch out for him. But I think I like get really caught up in my own world here. Like I've always been like, I love being on my own. I've never been a homebody.
Mhm.
So like, I haven't been home since Christmas. I'll talk to my parents, but I really just kind of like, I'm pretty reclusive here. Like I love my friends here. I love my gym here. Like I love the grind that I've got myself on. Like I'm very like methodical about like my schedule and stuff like that. Like I love being strict and consistent. So like I kind of just get caught up in my own world. Obviously I love my parents, but I just don't reach out as much as I probably should.
Mhm.
I talk to my dad like once a month. I talk to my mom weekly. I talk to my brother pretty consistently just because like he's in the college search. Like
Yeah.
he's obviously like coming up tomorrow. He's got like a lot of questions about college coming up, and then my sister's kind of off in her own world doing her own thing. She still lives in Dayton with my parents, so she still like goes there for dinner every Sunday and stuff like that. So out of everybody in my family, I'm definitely probably the most distant just because they're all together still, and I'm like the first person in my family to move away for college.
Yeah.
'Cause my parents also went to Wright State, so they commuted too. So
Mm.
I'm the first one in my family to like actually move away for college. So I feel like I do a decent job of reaching out, but in terms of like there's been a couple weekends here, or even like weekdays, where I got nothing going on, and it wouldn't kill me to drive back to an hour, 20-minute drive back to Dayton just to grab some dinner with my family and stuff like that. So I definitely think I need to make a bigger effort, and especially moving to Milwaukee, that's something that is like, I need to make, instead of doing what I can, like I need to make it like a big part of my week where it's like I need to reach out to everybody in my family at least once.
Yeah. I think, I don't know, being in college, like, you only have 4 years mentality, like, I don't know, at the very least, like, I think your parents understand, you know, like, getting the most while you're here.
Yeah.
I don't know, because I feel like a lot of people have that issue of, like, you do get so in like, you know, not to say it's gonna ever get easier, because, like, it's not like life ever just calms down, but, like, at the very least, enjoying, like, your experience here and, like, just fully diving into it.
Yeah.
I don't know, I think there's something to be said about that.
Yeah, and that's what I've been telling my parents, is like, I knew I was gonna enjoy college, but easily the best 4 years of my life. Like, obviously I haven't been on this earth that long, but just even the weekends where I don't have shit to do, just like being in this college environment, it's just like walking around campus, just sitting in your front yard, watching people toss die, like you're not gonna be able to do this anywhere else. And I remember my buddy Jimmy Franklin, who graduated my sophomore year, he told me this, and like it's kind of always stuck with me. It's like, you'll never be surrounded by more of your peers ever in your entire life. Like if you stand in the middle of campus, there's a 5-mile radius around you where everybody is between the ages of 18 and 22. Like you will never find that anywhere else on the planet. Like once you graduate and you go get your job, like you're gonna be working with people that have like grandkids. Like so like they're like that's not always you're not always gonna have something in common when you go talk to somebody. So it's just kind of like being in this environment, like it's easy to get caught up. Like I kind of want to get caught up at times. It's just like you said, like there's only 4 years of it, and you kind of want to enjoy it while you can. So like in the same breath, like yes, I should reach out to my parents more, but like I'll be there for a lot this summer, because like obviously like once I graduate, like I'll still be working here a little bit, but it's just I love it here, and it's tough to leave, and like I know how much I'm gonna miss it once I graduate, so it's hard to go away.
Yeah. No, I agree. Like I said, get the most out of it while you can, because life hits you fast.
Too fast.
Dude, like how did 4 years go by that quick?
And it's so funny, because every time somebody says that, I remember the exact conversation that I had. I was in KSA Cafe, and I was sitting across the table from my friend Jack Hardy, and he was a senior in DSP, and I was a freshman pledging, and he looked at me, he's like, I'm gonna say this, and I know it's not gonna mean anything to you, because it didn't mean anything to me when a senior told me, but this is gonna be so fast. Like you will be a senior before you know it. And like, the same thing he did, I'm like, all right, whatever, old man. Like I'm gonna be a freshman forever. Like I'm gonna be stuck here. Like these classes are so hard. Like every week goes by so slow. Like I got calc after this. Like in my mind, like I was gonna be here forever, and then all of a sudden it's like I graduate in 2 months.
Yeah. COVID didn't really help.
No, COVID did not help me at all. And COVID was easily the worst time of my life. Like I got so fat, and like I didn't do anything, and it sucked. But like in terms of the college experience I did have, like we're halfway done with the semester already, and like I feel like I just got here. It's absurd.
Yeah. I remember walking back from Curl my freshman year with my mega Sugi, if you remember him, and you know, just like it was like roughly around this time actually, like right before senior break. I'm like, damn, like I'm almost done with freshman year. Like it went up fast. He's like, dude, I'm almost done with sophomore year. Like it doesn't get any slow. I was like, shit.
Yeah.
And then, I don't know. It just I have a lot of theories about time. I won't get into them because like they're very long-winded, and I'm not gonna get you on all of that.
I feel like in my mind it was always kind of like, because I never fully convinced myself that I was gonna graduate. Like there was always an ounce of me that it's like college is hard. Like am I gonna make it?
Yeah.
So I remember when I finished my freshman year, I'm like, okay, I can do this. And then I remember once I finished my sophomore year, in my mind I'm like, if somebody can get halfway through college, they can get all the way through it. And then once junior year finished, I'm like, okay, I did it. Like I can push through senior year. So just kind of like having those milestones of just like am I gonna make it? Also feel like made it go way faster, because I was just like, I gotta keep pushing to make sure I can prove to myself that I'll graduate.
Yeah.
And then now I'm gonna graduate. I'm like, shit, you're right. I should have stopped and smelled the roses and remember what they smelled like. So.
Dude, no, it's crazy because like I feel like especially in college too, it's like you have those milestones and stuff, and then like you go to the real world and there's like not milestones anymore. It's just like life.
Yeah, it's just like that's the thing that's like hasn't hit me yet. Is there's no spring break, there's no summer. It's just like it's just cyclical.
Yeah.
And you have to find ways to make it entertaining, to keep yourself engaged, and like that's what's gonna be tough.
That summer 9 to 5, like there's no like last like couple weeks. Okay, I just gotta get through this and then I'm back to campus. It's like nope, that's it.
Yeah, luckily Kohl's and Smucker's also did this when I was working for them. They do have summer Fridays, so like you can get off at 1.
That's nice.
Which is nice, but even then, it's like there's it's something different about waking up in the middle of March and not having a class at all on a Wednesday, and just being able to just sit on your porch all day and do nothing. Like that's not gonna happen anymore.
Yeah. What's your most unique talent?
I got this at the Arnold. 100 calories, 20 grams of protein, recovery water,
I like
protein and water. Really gross, but gets the job done.
Dude, I feel like I had a coconut water the other day for the first time. Some of that flavored water is different.
Yeah, I don't like coconut either.
I don't either.
Why did you drink it?
A stranger gave it to me. I was hiking in Red Rock,
Oh.
and I ran into him earlier in his trail. I was like right by his. It was actually a hike to get to Red Rock, and I was right by his house. And he was like, "I saw you don't have any water. Like, dude, do you want this coconut water?" I'm like, "Oh, you don't have to." He's like, "No, I insist." I'm like, "Okay, thanks."
Thanks, but
Yeah.
my most unique talent. I think something I've always been really good at is like not like I wouldn't say I've ever been really good at giving advice, but I've always been really good at understanding what people are feeling.
Mhm.
Like I feel like that's something I definitely get from my mom is my empathy. Like I remember in high school specifically, a lot of people would like, because like nobody goes to counselors in high school. Like
Yeah.
they're just there to help you schedule classes. Like nobody would actually like it could be different for you, but me personally, I didn't know anybody that was like having trouble in life and went to their high school counselor.
Same here.
Yeah, so there was like a lot of people that like I wasn't even super close to that would reach out and be like, hey, like I'm really going through a tough time. Like one of my best girlfriends from high school still like calls me monthly just to like talk about her relationships and her family and stuff like that. I feel like I do a really good job of not just hearing what they're saying, but actually listening. Like that's one of the things that like I really work on is because I feel like I've never been like truly great at expressing my own emotions. So I don't want to like hear somebody say something and be like, oh, we'll just do this. Like I want to sit there and like fully listen to what they're going through and how they're feeling about it, and like know that they're like being heard. Because like that's the biggest thing is like that's why a lot of people like use the term like venting. It's because like it's not like I'm telling you all this because like I need an answer. I'm telling you all this because like I need to get this off my chest. Like I need to be heard.
Yeah.
So like I love when people like reach out to me, like whether it's like a best friend or whether it's just like somebody at the gym is like, man, like I've really just been like struggling with like my body dysmorphia or something like that. Just like being able to put yourself in like another person's shoes, being able to like feel what they feel. Like obviously you'll never feel it to the extent they do, but just to like be able to like sit down and talk to somebody and like let them be vulnerable and be like, this is how I feel, this is what's been going on, like I don't know what to do. And like my favorite thing is like I don't know what to tell you to do, but like I'm like you're allowed to feel this way. Like have you ever thought about like thinking about it from this perspective? Like how does this make you feel if this were to happen? Just like kind of just like unpacking everything is like my favorite thing, because like when I got off the phone with somebody, like whether it's like Quab calls me all the time, and like he called me recently because he has a girlfriend and he was like recently struggling with something, and like I remember I sat down with him. He's like, what do I do? I'm like, I can't tell you what to do, but I can tell you how you're thinking and why you shouldn't think that way. And I remember like right before he hung up, he's like, I'm so glad I called you, like I needed this. And like I didn't give him any advice.
Yeah.
Like, I wasn't like, hey man, go to therapy and then do this and then go talk to her and say this to her. I was just like, I kind of broke down everything of like what he said, why he was feeling how he was, and like that's my favorite thing, is just kind of like getting that experience. Like I'm glad I talked to you. I feel like I'm okay at that.
Yeah. I don't know how much I've given or came to you for advice, but I will say you are a beautiful listener. Like,
Thank you.
yeah, no, I need to come with you for my life problems.
Yeah.
But no, that's really great. It's also, I'm really glad. Like, it sounds like Quab and all your like everyone like just really appreciates like getting like or you to just hear them and like you said, just being able to like help people. Like
Yeah.
that's fucking awesome.
And like a lot of times I usually get caught up in like, I'm a super extroverted person, so like I talk to a lot of people, and a lot of times in my mind I'll be like, or like this was like really early in my life, like when I'd be listening to somebody, I'd be like, okay, what am I gonna say next? Like not like I'm hearing what you're saying, but in my mind I'm interpreting it and like how am I gonna keep this conversation going so it's not awkward?
Yeah.
Like I hated awkward silences, like I hated things that made me like feel embarrassed, but like I don't know what it is in my life that changed, but it's like when you're talking, I'm listening. Like and then like if we're sitting there in an awkward silence and I don't really know what to say and you don't really know what to say either, like that doesn't feel awkward to me.
Yeah.
I don't know, it maybe just even embarrassment as a whole. Like I remember this was like a weird like bookmark in my life. I remember in one of my marketing classes, second semester junior year, everybody like gets up and presents at the beginning of class, like one at a time, just like introduces yourself to the class, like 5 minutes, tell us about yourself.
Yeah.
Where are you working, where have you internship, what are your hobbies? I remember I got up to give that presentation, and you know how they have like the courtesy monitor in the back of the room?
Yeah.
I got up and just drilled my head on the courtesy monitor, and everybody was staring at me like, oh my gosh. And I just kind of looked around, and I'm just like, damn, that hurt. I just walked to the front of the room, and like usually like I blush and like feel like awkward, like shit, I can't believe I just did that. But like I hit my head, I'm like, damn, that hurt. And just walked to the front, and I'm like, I feel fine.
Yeah.
Nothing felt weird about that. Like I can't remember the last time that like I've truly felt embarrassed, which is like awesome. Like I guess that means I'm like slowly growing into myself, but like that's the thing is like I don't believe in awkward silences. I don't believe in awkward moments. Like if you just live in the moment, listen to people, like it's gonna happen.
Oh yeah, dude.
Just living life like in the moment is what I'm trying to do to the most, man.
Yeah, I need to live life better right here.
It's hard, dude. It's hard because like, especially going through like multiple rush processes and like in interviews, like especially in like if you're having a conversation with like a higher up in corporate, like you have to keep the conversation going. You have to let them know that you're on your shit. So like, it's kind of nice when you're like in a low pressure environment like this, where it's just like you just kind of sit back, listen, and just like be yourself.
Yeah,
which is cool.
What were you doing when you first got the news of COVID?
Me and Connor stayed in touch. So, cause we found out over spring break.
Yeah.
So I remember I went home for spring break. It was my freshman year. I wasn't in. I was still pledging DSP. I wasn't in a social frat. So like I didn't have like a group of people being like, oh, let's roll Lottie. Like I didn't have like that type of connection.
Yeah.
So I was just like, I'll just go home and enjoy my break. So I go home. Connor does the same thing. I live in Dayton. He lives in Cincy. So we're about 45 minutes apart. And I remember he texted me. He was like, hey, like let's hang out tonight. I'm like, for sure. He's like, I don't have my car. And I was like, that's fine. I really want a hot tub and smoke a stogie tonight. Like I'll come and pick you up and we can go back to my house. I don't care about the drive. He's like, oh, for sure. So drive to pick him up. It's probably like 9 at night. Grab him, say hi to his parents. We get in the car, and we're driving back to my house. And I don't see it because I'm driving. No texting and driving.
Yeah.
And Connor's like, dude, we just got spring break extended. I was like, what? He's like, yeah, spring break's extended. And then I was like, holy shit, this is sick. I was like, let's go, more spring break. So we're driving back to my house, hot tub, smoking a stogie, like having the time of our lives. A couple more days go by. So weird, same exact thing. Connor's like, yo, let's hang out. I'm like, Ben. He's like, car still doesn't work out. I like, right, whatever.
Yeah.
Go pick him up. Driving back to my house, same exact thing. Looks at his phone. He goes, dude, we're not going back. I was like, what? I was like, what do you mean not going back? He's like, yeah, we're done for the year. Like, we're online. And like, we just kind of like sat there and was like, so what does this mean? And then I remember this so vividly. Connor was like, yo, can I have aux for a second? I'm like, sure. And I gave him my phone and he played the 1-800 song by Logic. And I
Who
was
can
like,
relate?
and it's, oh my gosh, it's so funny you just said that. Because, like, he's playing this song, I'm like, there's no chance you just played this corny-ass song in my car. And as soon as that ad-lib comes on, me and him are both, who can relate? And we're just like, I'm like, alright, you have to turn this off. Like, I can't listen to this anymore. But we were just like in the moment, like, that's not something you can really wrap your head around. It's like, oh, we're going online.
Yeah.
Ohio State's just being extra safe about it. Like, it's whatever. We'll be fine. Like, we'll finish out this year. I'll pass fail all my hard classes and I'll be over and we'll be back by next year.
Yeah.
But I remember, like, in the moment, we were just kind of like sad because we were like, shit, dude, freshman year's over. But then at the same time, we're like, it's not a big deal.
Yeah.
COVID.
Yeah. Like you said, like it was weird those first like couple weeks. It's like, oh, it's like gonna last a couple weeks, and then it was like, oh, it's gonna last forever, and then it lasted like 2 years.
Yeah.
Like,
It's just like that. That's what the toughest part about it was. That's when, like, obviously, like, we were both pledging business fraternities too. So we were like, oh, what the hell is gonna happen with that? Are we even gonna get in? How's that gonna work? After we started? And then we're also thinking, like, oh, we just, like, started to become super close with, like, the second floor kids, like Timmy and Blake and Matt,
yeah.
Deutsch, and it was just like, oh my gosh, like, are we, like, ever gonna see these kids again? Like, you just start, like, thinking all these, like, ridiculous scenarios, and then eventually it's just kind of like, it is what it is, we're home.
Yeah.
And then my mom, like, so my mom has lupus, so she's, like, super immune compromised, so, like, at the moment it didn't mean anything to me, like, COVID, whatever, but then, like, once people started, like, dying from it, like, it became, like, a serious thing,
Mm-hmm.
like, I couldn't go anywhere. Like, a lot of my friends would be, like, obviously I'm not shitting on them, I would have done the same thing, like, they'd be like, oh, my parents are cool with it, your parents cool with it? Yeah, and then, like, a group of 5 of them would go to one of their houses and booze and hang out, but, like,
Yeah.
I never got to do that because, like, my mom didn't want that risk, and totally fair to her.
Yeah.
But, like, that's what I'm saying, is, like, I just kind of sat there for months inside my house and just drank beer and benched in my basement, got super fat, and that was my life, but gosh, COVID was such a strange time. Like, I remember in my mind just thinking, like, it was gonna last forever. Like,
Yeah.
It felt like forever.
Those 5 months felt like 5 years.
Oh my gosh, every day was the same. Every day was so slow. Like, oh, yeah.
Which, speaking of, actually, how was your quarantine?
So my daily routine was pretty simple.
Mm-hmm.
I would wake up at about 11, because, like, I don't know whether I got this from my mom or whether I'm just a naturally tired human being, but, like, if I don't set an alarm, I will wake up at noon every day. Like, I have to force myself to wake up every single day. Like even if I know I have nothing going on, I'll set alarms for, like, 9 or 10, because, like, if I don't, I will be up at noon.
Yeah.
So I'd wake up at, like, 11, do 2-3 hours of schoolwork maybe, just, like, take some stupid quiz, do some, like, meaningless busy work, because online school wasn't real, you didn't actually do anything, and then I would go downstairs to my basement, do, like, 6 sets of bench, because that was, like, the only exercise I had down there.
Mm-hmm.
I would do some curls, and then I would do a couple sit-ups, and be like, all right, I lifted, and then I'd go upstairs, eat dinner, crack open a beer, and then play Warzone until, like, 2 in the morning. I'd rip my pen, and then I'd eat 9,000 calories worth of food at, like, 2:30 in the morning, and then go back to bed, and then restart the cycle, and, like, I'm not gonna lie, for the first month it fucking rocked. It was so fun. Like, Filer and, like, my roommates and I would play Warzone every night. We played Fortnite. Like, we had a blast. And then it started to, like I could feel myself starting to put on weight, and I was just like, I don't really care. It's quarantine. I'm not gonna see anybody.
Yeah.
And then I remember there's one time I benched 225 for the first time. I'm like, oh my gosh, this is huge.
Yeah.
I was like, I'm getting strong, and then I remember I stepped on the scale that night and I was 203. I was like, oh my gosh, that's not impressive. I'm moving 220 because I'm almost 220. I'm like, holy shit, I'm fat. And then that's when it started to suck, because it was like, I realized how unhealthy my lifestyle was, and I just, like, I was getting so like testy with my parents because like I was around them 24/7 and like it was just like I was just constantly on edge because I was unhappy. I never got to see my friends. Like we started playing like drinking games over Zoom. Like I remember playing like virtual ride the bus. Like
I remember
and
that.
yeah, just like anything to get through COVID. And like that like down bad of just like how shitty I felt physically and mentally is kind of like what drove me to like fall in love with the gym today. But like it was so fun at first, but then like I don't think I've ever been like that low at a point in my life as quarantine, just like in terms of like I feel like there would be days at a time where I wouldn't even see the sun. Like I literally wouldn't leave my house. So I just felt so confined that yeah, I hated quarantine. I don't think I ever had a worse experience.
I'm sorry to hear that.
It's alright. I mean, we made it through. I'm happy where I'm at in my life. Like, I feel like that's like, as shitty as it was, like that was a huge defining moment to like make me who I am. So like, was it miserable in the moment? Yeah. But like now that it's over and now that it's like, I hit that low, it's like, it's only up from here. So we're good. We're good.
Dude, I feel like I agree with you though. That first month of quarantine, like there did come a point where like, I don't know. I feel like I probably lived when I was younger. But you definitely lived in quarantine. Like too much of a good thing is definitely not a good thing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean that's the thing. It's like I had no responsibilities. Like school was easy. I was just playing video games. Like I didn't have to go to the gym. I didn't have to do anything. Like I literally was just like, and like that was like. I was good at school in high school. I didn't study. I got all A's. It was easy.
Mm-hmm.
And then once I got to college, I'm like, okay, this shit's kind of hard. So like finishing like that first semester and then like starting off the second semester, that switch to online of like school becoming so much easier was like, oh my gosh, this is great. Like I was so happy. I was like, school is easier. I got no responsibilities. But then like you said, like too much of a good thing is a bad thing. And I started thinking like I'm not learning anything.
Yeah.
Like I'm just like turning in assignments and not even realizing what I just read. So like that's the other thing I kind of regret is like I wish I would have focused a little bit more on school. But I know like going back in time, like it didn't really affect me that much, and like I wouldn't have focused during quarantine.
Online school isn't real.
No, it's
like
not.
I'm a very hard believer of like, if they really do take away snow days and replace them with virtual days, which one would be dystopian as fuck, because like why the fuck would you ever cheer for a snow day anymore?
Mm-hmm.
But it's like just virtual learning is like it's garbage in, garbage out. Like no one, I feel like teachers don't care as much, students don't care as much, like and like it because it's online, it's like you just don't learn.
No,
I don't know.
And especially like the asynchronous stuff,
Mm-hmm.
like teachers are just pumping out videos they already recorded, like, and kids are just watching it on 2x speed, writing down whatever notes that they need, and then they're taking their quizzes, and like nobody learns anything.
Yeah.
And if they take away snow days, like I would genuinely, like obviously it won't affect me, but I would genuinely be upset for the generation that loses snow days, because that was the best feeling in the world, waking up with a snow day.
Do you ever have like any like traditions like with that, or like doing like spoon under your pillow, like all that?
Yeah, I do spoon under the pillow, and then I'd flush a couple ice cubes before bed.
Mm-hmm.
That was my go-to. But we had, I don't know if you remember this, but there was a time in grade school where Ohio's snow was so bad. I'm sure you got it even worse. That was like, we ended up getting like a snow bag because we were off for like 12 straight days.
Serious?
Yeah, I remember it. It was like, I think it was 7th grade maybe. Might have been your 8th grade.
I don't remember that.
But there was a period of time where we got these things called like snow baggies. Like they sent a PDF to our parents, and we had to print it off, and we had assignments to do because we were off for school for so long. But if they switched those to virtual, then RIP that generation.
I agree. If my kids have a virtual day instead of a snow day, I'm telling them, you're logging in, we're having a fun day, like, do whatever the fuck you want. Like, go outside, stay in, whatever, don't go to school.
Yeah, I'll sit here and take your notes for you. Like, like go out and grab your sled and have fun. Like, that was the best part of growing up, so I'm glad we agree on that.
What's your relationship like with your religion?
So obviously growing up in like a private Catholic school, religion has always been like kind of shoved in your face.
Mhm.
You have a religion class, like you have mass every Wednesday. So I've always considered myself like a pretty religious person, and at first it was like actual strict Catholicism, and then it kind of morphed into more of just Christianity, and then now it's just like, it's like I believe in a higher being just because I have too much good in my life for there not to be. And like growing up, do I believe that's Jesus? Yes. But if it's not, like I don't like when I pray, I'm just like being grateful for everything that I have. Like I try and pray every night. Like a lot of times like I'm really tired and like I fall asleep and I kind of feel bad, but like I look at religion as like I have so much good in my life. There's no way that this is on accident. There's just like so many good things that have gone my way that probably shouldn't. There's just like so many blessings that I have in my life that I have to attribute it to somebody. And the way that I look at it is like, it's not even like when I see somebody on the oval that's like screaming at people like, Jesus is coming, you better repent or you're going to hell. Like I don't think that's the lens that you should be looking at religion from. Like if there's a force in your life that is not necessarily forcing you, but like coercing you to do good, then that's religion. Like if there's just like something that you believe in that wants you to be a better person and wants you to help other people, like that's my view of religion. It's like I feel like I have so much good going for me in my life. I believe in karma. I believe you should take care of the people around you. Like whatever that guiding force is your religion. And so like that's my take on it. Is like I pray because I'm grateful for everything that I have, and I take care of the people around me because I feel like everybody deserves it, and I hope that after I die, there's something nice waiting for me. That's kind of how I look at it.
Love it. Yeah, I agree with that. Or like praying to some sort of power. I feel like the thing that's always caught up with me, religions, like most religions, like if you don't believe this specific religion, you're not going to the afterlife.
Yeah.
And so I feel like if there is a higher power, they wouldn't be that shitty. Where it's like choose one of these multiple different ideas, and if you pick the right one, you're right.
Yeah.
Otherwise,
no, that's what I'm saying. Is like I used to bring this concept up to my religion teachers, and they'd always kind of like duck the question. Like if I believe in Jesus, and Jesus is the person that I believe him to be, the all-forgiving, the all-knowing, the all-loving, and there's somebody that lived their life thinking that Buddha was the creator of the universe. I don't know anything about Buddhism, but if they think that like Buddha is the guiding force in their life and that's who they should be praising for their gifts. Like if they live a really loving life and take care of the people around them, once you die, Jesus should look at you and be like, hey man, like you got the guy wrong, but like you lived a great life. Like come on in. So like that's what I'm saying is like if every God that everybody believes in is as forgiving and as loving, like there shouldn't be like one person that like you said, like it's not a multiple choice. Like if you get it wrong, like you're fucked.
Yeah.
Like if you live a good life, I feel like if there is an afterlife, there should be some sort of leeway in that scenario.
As the whole intentions versus actions thing.
Yeah,
right?
absolutely.
You know, like as long as your intentions / actions are pure, you know, hopefully. But I don't know. Like you said, like I don't get the people that like go on the oval or like what. I remember freshman year walking back from a game one time, still pretty drunk, and like someone's handing out some flyers. I'm like, oh, I love a flyer. And it just says, who would Jesus destroy? It's like, you know, sinners, you know, gay people, gamblers, and like all this random shit. I'm like, what? How much free time? Like, first of all, how much free time do you have to just be?
Do you have a job? Like,
yeah, but it's like I don't know. Like you said, I feel like there's the fear of God part of religion where it's like, you know, do everything right or God shall smite you.
Mm-hmm.
But I feel like at the same time, it's like if you're a good, like no one's perfect, you know. Not everyone can be sacrificed on the cross because of how swag money they are.
Yeah.
But you know, as long as like you're a good person, you know, like obviously you can be everyone can be a better person, but it's like as long as you try, right?
Yeah. I mean, that's like, especially like growing up in Catholicism, it's like you have to be an evangelist, and everybody that's not a believer you have to convert. And like there's a difference between like slamming your religion in somebody's face versus just like trying to help somebody become a better person. Like I I would like if somebody came up to you like, do you believe in Jesus? Would you consider yourself religious? I'd be like, yeah, I do. But like, if somebody comes up to me on the Oval and I'm walking to class, it's like, hey man, do you believe in so and so? Like, let's talk about Jesus. I'm like, no, dude. Like, I'm going to class. Like, I don't want to talk to you right now. Like, there's like I can believe in Jesus and believe in religion and not like want it slammed in my face all the time. Like, I get what they're doing and like they're being very like literal with the word. Like, I understand that like God said in the Bible like rejoice and share my word and stuff like that. But like sometimes you just like nobody wants to hear that shit, man. Like when I'm driving home and I see the if you die today, where you going, heaven or hell? Like that's so corny. Like
Yeah.
I don't do that stuff.
What's your biggest regret?
This is gonna sound like really superficial, but I think about it a lot. I wish I would have played football.
Okay.
And so every time I play football, like whether I'm just like passing in the yard, whether I'm like we're doing like scrimmages, like I've always been pretty damn good at it.
Mm-hmm.
And like I remember growing up, and every time like football season would end or basketball season would like about to start, the football coach would be like, hey man, like we need a safety, like I think you'd be a great safety, like you should come out and play for us. I'm like, nah, I don't want to be hurt for basketball season, not gonna happen. But actually, no, fuck that, that's too superficial. I don't like that answer. I just thought of something better.
Yeah.
I wish I would have been a better brother. Me and Derek are like really close now, and it was tough growing up because we had a 5-year difference, so it was always like that. I'm in that preteen stage and he's an annoying little toddler.
Yeah.
And then it shifted to I like girls now and he's the Fortnite kid. So like there's always just that, and then it shifted to like I'm in high school and he's that annoying 8th grader. So like there was just like always like something nagging, like he was just a stage behind where I was.
Yeah.
And obviously, and like every time you advance a stage, the stage behind you becomes annoying.
Yeah.
So he was just like always that one stage behind me, and I just found the kid so annoying growing up. Like he just always knew the right way to push my buttons, and so like we never like physically fought or anything like that, but like we used to just like, we never got along, like we never really talked, like oh my gosh, that kid bugged the shit out of me. But like obviously like he's growing up now, we have so much in common. Like I pretty much talk to him every day. Like it would have been, it's nice because like he'll write me messages on like cards and stuff on my birthday, and he'll say things that like hey man, like I really look up to you, like you've really like helped me grow into who I am today. And like a lot of that probably is like through tough love, so like I don't know how he would have turned out differently if I was a more loving brother.
Yeah.
But like when I read that, it means a lot to me, but in the back of my mind, I'm like, I kind of suck, dude. Like I appreciate you like saying this, but I could have been so much better for you, and it kind of hurts to read it because like he attributes so much to me, and in my mind, like I didn't do shit for him. Like I totally could have been a much better brother, so much more supportive. So I do really wish that I was better to him growing up, but obviously hindsight's 2020.
Yeah.
Like he turned out to be a great kid. Like he's a great kicker. Like I'm sure it gave him an edge, but yeah, I wish I would have did that better. Because reading cards like that does kind of suck. Because I feel like I could have been better.
Yeah. As the younger sibling with 5-year experience, I get it. I mean, my sister, it's also, but I feel like you said, it's like that 5-year gap as a kid
It's a
is
lot.
like the
Oh
difference
my
between like a
God.
7 and a 12-year-old is so big, but it's like as you get older, it's
Yeah.
like 27 and 22 is
No
not
difference.
that.
No difference at all. But you're
Yeah.
right. Like being in like 8th grade and starting to like girls, and then like coming home from school and like my little brother's like blasting Gangnam Style, like I don't want to talk to him, like he's annoying.
Yeah.
So like, but like yeah, definitely like the growing up years, like the gap is the biggest there for sure.
Yeah, but I mean, I'd say, but we're only in the prelude of life. I mean,
Yeah.
fuck, like once you graduated college, that's when like the real life starts. It's like still crazy.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
There's another 60 years of like, it's a whole different experience.
All's well as that ends well, and like thinking like being able to be like an uncle
But
and like being like involved in their lives when they're adults, like going to their weddings, like like seeing my nieces and nephews, like that's what I'm excited for. Is like that's like if I'm very present in my life, and like I said earlier, like being able to reach out to them and like staying connected no matter where we are, like everybody has their troubles growing up, and like I know people who like physically was like abusive with their siblings, and they turned out to be best friends later in life. So that's the thing, is like we're not dying.
Yeah.
We're not dying tomorrow. So, but yeah, there's time.
What are you most worried about?
Right now, I'd say my job. I love Kohl's. I love the position that I'm doing. I'm just like, I know it's not my end goal, so like Milwaukee is probably not my dream city. And if I work in the department that I worked in over the summer, it's not my dream department.
Mm-hmm.
But it is a huge step in the right direction. Like I love retail and I love merchandising, and I'm super excited to just gain experience in that. But I am kind of nervous that like once I move out there, I don't know anybody in Milwaukee. Like, am I gonna be good at my job? Like the internship was fun and I feel like I did great. And like obviously I got a return offer, so I couldn't have been that terrible at it. But just like being able to figure everything out, being able to live on my own, and then am I gonna find something like I truly love? Like I'm gonna have a blast in Milwaukee, and I know it, and I know I'm gonna love my work. But like I don't see myself there forever, so I'm just kind of like worried, like how am I gonna go about like living that dream of like maybe one day I want to like start like a gym brand or something like that, but like how do I get there, and if I like find a better job, and how does that go? So just kind of like the ins and outs of being an adult kind of worry me right now. Still trying to figure that out.
That next stage of life?
Yeah.
No, it's different. I'll tell you that. I mean, as someone that was doing 20 hours work, 20 hours of school, so I don't know how much you can really take from me, but I don't know. There's kind of something nice about that routine of like, on one hand, every day's the same. But on the other hand, it's like, you clock in, you clock out. There's no worrying about anything afterwards. And it's like, that routine you can like build your day around so easily. Because like, you know you're going to be here at this time, so you know you can do this kind of thing. I don't know. But, I don't know. You're a smart ass kid. And I think that you're going to be able to figure it out. And you're going to find that, what makes you happy, wherever that is.
Yeah, not having homework is going to be nice.
Dude. Like, legitimately the best part is literally just clocking out and just like, you can do whatever.
Yeah, you're off the clock. Like, your boss can text you to do something. You don't have to do it. You have to do it tomorrow.
Yeah. It's like you can go to the gym. You can like just stay home, eat spaghetti, and watch a movie. Like, no one. I mean,
that's really specific. Do you do that?
Not yet.
Okay, that sounds like a nice night though.
Yeah, I mean, who doesn't love spaghetti?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. No, it's the thing that gives me calm is the fact that no one's maybe like, you know, someone my age or the year or a couple within that like very recently out of college freak out a little bit, but it's like our parents.
Yeah.
Like people like them don't freak out about being in the real world, not being back in college. It's like that like no one, the fact that no one's like going crazy makes me a little more sane. You know?
Yeah. And like it's weird because like in my mind, like not fully set on marriage, I'm not fully set on kids, like. And like my mom keeps telling me, I keep telling her like these are gonna be the best 4 years of my life. She's like, we'll wait till you have kids. I'm like, I don't know if I want to have kids, but like I know if I do have kids, like it'll be the best years of my life. And it's just like so like living in the moment is like what's better than waking up on a Monday at noon and being able to drink a beer and there not being any repercussions? Mm-hmm. Like that's in my mind right now the best 4 years of my life. But obviously like I haven't lived anything else, so.
Yeah, it's that you don't
Future
know.
is scary.
You don't know what's good until you get it.
Fear of the unknown.
What's the hardest thing that's happened to you this past year?
I think my relationships with like, I had a relationship with a girl for a little bit, and I think I let it consume me too much because, like, when things were good, Like I was on top of the world, but when things were bad, it was like. That's all I could think about. So there was like, from I'd say about a couple months before I left for Milwaukee, the whole summer, and then like a couple months when we got back to school this year, it was like so consumed over this one girl, and it was like, it wasn't like super unhealthy, but it was like she was moving to a different city post-grad, and I was like trying to shape my world around it. I was like, oh, I can find a job there, or like I can come and visit on weekends sometimes, and I'll have money, I'll be able to afford a flight, and like I was just like so engulfed in this girl that I don't even really talk to anymore, and I let it dictate my mood so much, and there was like weeks that would go by where I was just so unhappy, and it was just like I need to do a better job of kind of like seeing life for what it is and realizing that one aspect of my life shouldn't have to dictate everything. Like I read this book over the summer. It was Meditations by Marcus Aurelius. It's kind of all about stoicism and the idea of like your brain assigns meaning to everything that happens in your life, so you're really in control of how you feel about everything that happens around you. And whenever things were bad with us, I think like she's not talking to me, she doesn't want to be with me, I'm unhappy, I'm going to take her actions and interpret them and make me sad. Versus like I've kind of changed the mindset of like if I'm talking to a girl right now, and if I were to feel like we weren't in a great spot and she would text me and I'd be like, dang, that's like, it doesn't make me feel the greatest, but I'd be like, in my mind, like if she doesn't want to be with me, then I don't want to be with her. Like that's my mindset, is like that's what I kind of realized towards the end of things with like the last girl, is like if something's going wrong, you have the ability to decide how it's going to affect you, and if like things are going bad and she doesn't want to be with you, then you shouldn't want to be with her either, and like you'll find happiness and you'll figure things out. So I was just like really wrapped up in girl shit, and it shouldn't have meant that much to me. So
First relationship is hard. I don't know if it's your first relationship, but I feel like I don't know, going through like all those emotions the first time, you know, like not knowing how to navigate, but like figuring out how to like, especially like with someone else. But I'm glad you. Sounds like you have a very healthy view of it now.
Yeah, it's good. And like I was a serial dater in high school, so I had like a girlfriend freshman year, girlfriend sophomore year, and then I dated a girl for 2 years, junior and senior year. So I was single for like probably like 8 months of high school, like all 4 years. Like it was bad. It was bad.
Okay.
It was bad. And so we broke up the summer coming into college, so I haven't had a girlfriend for 4 years. So like it wasn't like I was new to dating, but I was like new to adult dating.
Yeah.
And the situationship that I was in, like junior year was very like on and off. So like that's probably why it fucked with me the most. Like if we were like fully committed to each other and like things would be like bad and things would be like good, I probably could have pushed through it. But it was like there'd be times where we would talk every day and hang out, and then there'd be like weeks where like we wouldn't speak to each other at all. It was just like so wishy-washy. Like that's why it messed with me so much. But like it's got to the point where like right now where I'm like the girl that I'm with, like the girl that I'm talking to right now, like I like her a lot. Do I think we're gonna get married? I don't know, probably not, because like she's a junior and I'm graduating.
Yeah.
But like she makes me happy, and whatever happens is gonna happen, and I'm gonna live my life. So that's like you just kind of have to separate your things from some things that like I have a great life. I've got great people in my life. Like the great people in my life are gonna stick around, and life will figure itself out.
It's a great mentality to have.
I feel like I'm getting a lot better at it, but one day at a time.
Yeah. So the only way you can live.
Yeah, absolutely.
What's something that made you laugh really hard recently?
Living with like the group that I do, like I'm laughing all the time.
They're a fucking bunch of knuckleheads. I love
Oh my
them.
gosh, I'm gonna miss. That's the thing that's gonna suck the most about graduating, is like how much I'm gonna miss them. So this was probably like a month ago. So our house is a shithole. Like it's no secret. You've been in it. It's
college house.
Yeah, it's a college house for sure. Like probably the closest to a frat house you can get of just college kids living in it. And there's always something wrong. Like either the ceiling's leaking, or there's a hole in the wall, or there's just something going wrong at all times. The washing machine doesn't work or something.
Yeah.
And I remember one day we were all just like chilling in the living room, like, oh my gosh, it smells like shit. Like this house reeks of feces. Like it wasn't like
Literal
somebody
shit.
farted. It's like, oh my gosh, this house smells like poop. And I remember we like went and like checked all the bathrooms, and then we walked downstairs, and the basement floor is just flooded with turds. Like like the basement toilet, I don't know like whether somebody flushed it and walked away and didn't realize it, or like the plumbing was fucked up, but it was just like a lake of shit in the basement. And we walked down there, and like obviously like Filer and Connor's room is down there.
Yeah.
So like they had to like put on shoes and gloves and take like brooms and like try and sweep it into like the toilet area. And it was just like so funny just like watching them just like walk around in shit, like sweeping it up, just like fucking like dry heaving, like crying, like so unhappy. And the rest of the house that didn't have to deal with it was just dying, just watching them so miserable. But oh my gosh, I felt so bad. Like it ruined like so much of their shit, and like it just reeked for days. But I remember that was a pretty good laugh.
Dude, that sucks so much, but that's fucking hilarious.
I was gonna say like for like Connor and Filer were not laughing at all, but like for the rest of us it was so funny. It smelled so like just Connor's like being down there and just like be sweeping and just like and then he just has to like go back to keep sweeping.
I was about to say, of anyone it to happen to, it did, like the fact that it was Connor.
Yeah,
like
I know, and because he's like so queasy about that stuff.
Yeah.
Like, oh my gosh, it was perfect.
Dude, that's goofy as shit.
I know.
Yeah.
I'm gonna miss stuff like that.
Who's your hero?
So I like to think that I came up with this, but then I saw that Matthew McConaughey said this at one of his Emmys, Oscars. I think it's the Oscars. He said this at one of his Oscar speeches, and I swear to God, I don't know whether it's like I had seen it and forgot that I saw it, so I thought I came up with it. But I've never really had somebody in my life that like I like really look up to. Like I obviously like my mom and my dad. They both have like so many traits that like I aspire to have.
Yeah.
But the way the way Matthew McConaughey described it, and the way that I thought I described it, is my hero is myself in 10 years. So when you look back on yourself, like somebody asks you right now, it's like, oh, so are you your hero 10 years ago? It's like, no, because my hero is me in 10 years. And it's just like, I feel like a lot of times, like in the moment, like in life, day to day, like both of us, people in general, just like never give themselves enough credit for what they do. And if you were to look back at me in 10 years ago, I would have been 12, and you would have been like, Jared, you're going to be in great shape, you're going to be in college, you're going to have a great group of friends, you're going to have a great GPA, you're going to have a job lined up. Like I would be so proud of where I am today. And like obviously there's ups and downs, like there's still things about myself that I'm working on, but just like what I'm gonna be in 10 years, like where I can see myself. Obviously I don't know what it's gonna be, but like I know I'm gonna be proud of myself, and I know that like I'll look back and when I'm 30, gosh, it's so old, I'm 32. Like I'll look back at my 22-year-old self and be like, I had no idea what I was doing in my life. Like in the moment, like I feel like I know everything, like I'm so prepared for everything, but like I can't wait to look back on this and think of like I would be so proud of myself. So that's my / Matthew McConaughey's hero.
You and Matthew McConaughey are very smart,
He
because
was a dope.
he was a dope.
He was a dope.
No way.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, that's a really good mentality to have. Like, you know, especially like I feel like with life, there's like the goalpost always moves, because like there's never a finish. You know, like
Right.
as much as great as it be, life's bitching to die. Like it's more of life a bitch than to keep living. But I don't know, just like always trying to like be that better, like be who you think you're gonna be to move towards that.
Yeah, and that's like kind of like you said, like it's not just like this treadmill to death. It's
Yeah.
like I kind of view it as like I can continue to make myself better and look forward to new things and continue to set and achieve goals versus just like I'm slowly hurtling towards death. Like it just kind of makes everything a little bit more optimistic.
Yeah.
Like I can continue to like become a better person and be proud of myself.
Yeah, and I think you will be. I think it's not to say you're not right now. But,
Right. No. Yeah.
Yeah.
Everybody's got room to grow.
That's one of my fucking mottos. Everyone, or always room for improvement.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Always.
Stop reading my mind and stop maybe reading my cards, because earlier you touched on some quarantine stuff and touched on some stuff I'm gonna ask you later. I know you're not reading my
I
cards,
know.
but
My bad.
and
I'll be better.
I'm fucking with you because I don't know. You're also not the first person to say the Matthew McConaughey thing, but
Really?
yeah, I forget who it was. I'll text you later because I know I edited it recently, so it's out.
Okay.
So it's like
I'll watch it. I'll watch
yeah.
it if you send it to me.
What's your favorite tradition?
It's the first thing that came to my mind, so like I have to game day. Like I'm gonna like there's just something so cult and religious about waking up at 5:30 in the morning, blasting the fight song, rolling out of bed, throwing like 2 eggs and a muffin in your body, and then just cramming beers before the sun rises, and then going to block where it's just scarlet and gray everywhere you can see, and everybody's just getting slammed, and it's like, I know that like 50% of the people at Block really just don't give a shit about football, and they're just there for the memories and the experience. But just like the hype of like me and my friends that are like die-hard Bucks football fans, the excitement of going to the stadium and watching Justin Fields or CJ Stroud, just like watching us pummel some team, and then coming home, ripping a nap, ripping some Chick-fil-A or some Chipotle, and then going out, doing afters, going to bars. It's just like, a lot of times when you're on campus, it's like so many strangers, you're just doing your own thing, you're getting your own degree. Like, yeah, we're technically classmates, we're technically all Buckeye students, but it doesn't always feel like that.
Yeah.
Versus like on a game day, you walk by somebody and you just say, "Go Bucks." They're gonna answer like, "Let's go fucking Bucks" or something like that. It's like Bucks by a million. Like that's like, you can't do that on a normal school day. Like you can't just walk by somebody and be like, "Yo, go Bucks." He's like, "What the fuck's wrong with you?" It's like, "Bro, I'm walking to Spanish class. Like I'm not talking to you right now."
Yeah.
But like on a game day, like that's when you like really feel like I'm a student here. We're all students here. Like that's the most like connected you feel as a school. Like it's obviously like when you're in high school, you're like, "Oh, these are my classmates. I have classes with them." But like you don't have classes with everybody here. But like when everybody's got their football jerseys on and like everybody's at Block, everybody's going to the game. Like that's when everybody feels like a student. Like that's easily my favorite tradition.
Dude, that's a great choice. I think that might be the first person to say Block.
No shit.
Yeah, but no, dude, there's something about it. Like especially like the first block back in Michigan block, it's like, or if it's not Michigan that year, like whatever the big game is that year, just like there's an air to it. It's like it's almost like the night before Christmas.
Yeah,
you know?
swear to God it is.
Yeah, no, like I'm like, especially growing up in Columbus, it's like everywhere you go on a Saturday, like everyone's playing the game, but especially like Michigan, it's like streets are clear, like everyone's at home or at a bar or something else. Like I don't know, there's something about it.
Yeah, and it's like you could have like obviously you're not gonna love everybody on this campus. There could be kids that you like genuinely don't like or have beef with, and you see them on a game day, and you're just like,
"Good Bucks."
Yeah, good luck. Yeah, I'm not worried about that right now. Like I got bigger fish to fry. So like that's. Oh, I'm gonna miss that.
I'm just trying to see Jay Cook right now.
That's it. That's all I care about.
What is the best thing that happened to you this past month?
I think last month. This is gonna sound. This was like. Yes, I made money, so it was awesome. But just kind of like the experience and like how much joy it brought me. Because like February, I'd say was a pretty tame month. I didn't do anything too outrageous. But I remember I made a bet, $5 bet on Isaiah Likely first touchdown for one of the games in I'm gonna go back to January.
Yeah.
For one of the games in January, and it was $5 to win $155, because Isaiah Likely is their backup tight end. And
it's pretty unlikely.
Yeah, pretty unlikely for likely. And I was like, you know what? Fuck it. He's scoring the first touchdown. It was the first legal bet I ever made. $5. And I remember I was like watching the game. Ravens got the ball first, didn't score. Sent it to the Steelers. Steelers got to like the red zone. And Najee almost punched it in and got stuffed. I think they might have kicked a field goal. And then I remember I was like, they were driving, and I was on my phone, and Taylor was like, oh, Likely's in. I'm like, I looked up and I saw him. I'm like, oh, word. And then all of a sudden I saw it, like, out of peripheral, I saw his corner route, and I saw him throw it to him, and I saw the catch, and then the camera, like, turns to, like, show Tyler Huntley, because he threw the pass. And I looked up, and I'm like, oh my God, who caught that? And I looked over, it's just me and Taylor watching it, and Taylor was like, I think that's Likely. And sure enough, like, bottom of the screen, Isaiah Likely touchdown, and we freaked out. We were like, the first bet I'd ever made, 5-1-150, I was on cloud 9. Oh my gosh, I was screaming. Like, I got pretty big into sports betting for like the first 2 months when it was legal, but like, I don't really do it anymore just because I don't have the capital to do it with.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was a surreal feeling. It was my first bet ever, and it felt great.
Dude, there's nothing like watching like just a Hail Mary, like whether it be bet or actual fucking Hail Mary, but like something like that hitting, like, dude, I understand why people get into gambling.
I understand gambling addictions for sure.
Yeah. Like, I don't know, I like you, I just kind of, I force myself off it because, like, I don't know, if it's, my mentality is only free bets now. If I can get a free bet, if I have to spend dollars to get like 200 free bet, I'll do that. But it's like, I don't know, but that is a good fucking moment.
And I did find a cheat code to which you will never lose a bet. But this has to be with a team or a moment that you have some sort of internal investment in. Okay. So there's two scenarios that I can equate this to. So when the Titans were playing the Jaguars, it was week 17, winner gets in.
Yeah.
And I thought to myself, I'm like, how much would I pay if somebody came up to me right now and was like, I have a secret book, I will write the Titans to win right now, and it'll happen 100%. How much money would you give me? Like, what's the maximum amount of dollars that you will give me for the Titans to 100% guarantee the Titans win this game?
Yeah.
And I thought that to myself. I'm like, I'd probably pay $200 for the Titans to make the playoffs. That's how bad they want the Titans to make the playoffs. I had a little bit of money at the time.
Yeah.
So I bet $200 on Jaguars money line.
The happiness edge.
Yeah, the happiness edge. Jaguars win. I'm pissed the Titans lose, but I walked away with an extra $175. It was pretty decent odds. I'm like, fuck yeah, I made $175. So I was upset, but like realistically, I was like, I'm really not that mad.
Yeah.
And I didn't do this, but I should have, because we were in Philly, and the Eagles were up 10 at halftime, and I think the Chiefs were plus 380 money line. And in my mind, I told this to myself, I'd pay $100 for the Eagles to win right now. To be in Philadelphia, to be on the streets when everybody's rioting and boozing, like, that memory to me is worth $100.
Yeah. So
if I would have put $100 on Chiefs money line, could have made some serious fucking cash, and I didn't.
Yeah.
But thinking back on it, like, I would have done it. So.
Yeah. I don't know. I think the happiness hedge is definitely a move, but at the same time, it's like, I don't know, you're never like fully happy because you're always thinking about the thing that you lost, whether your team lost or financially speaking a loss. But that's a good. I've never thought about it, like how much would I pay to see this happen? That's a good, because that's a much better way of what I do. Just like
because that's the thing with the Eagles is like, if I would have bet $15 on the Chiefs to win, and I would have made like 45.
Yeah.
And the Eagles lost, that wouldn't have meant anything to me. I would have been pissed. But like, if I would have walked it, like, I was in a really bad mood after the Eagles lost. Like, we drove 7 hours, had a 7-hour car ride the next morning. Like, we were so geeked to watch the Eagles win that, like, if I would have walked away with $375, I would have been like, okay, I can't be that mad. Versus like
just nothing.
Yeah, just nothing. So like, that's like the happiness hedge. Like, I agree that like, it sucked that the Titans lost, and it sucked that, like, in the back of my mind, I was kind of rooting for the Jaguars because I kind of needed the money. But at the end of the day, like, if you do that, like, max dollar amount, I feel like the happiness is there either way.
I agree. Dude, Patrick Mahomes, like, so Aiken went to see the Bengals Chiefs game for NFC.
At Arrowhead, yeah.
At Arrowhead, yeah. So, killed his mood, killed your mood. He needs to be stopped.
I hate Patrick Mahomes so much. And what hurts me the most is the girl that I'm talking to right now is a Chiefs fan, and a Warriors fan.
She's a bandwagon.
It's unbearable. It's unbearable.
You can't naturally be a Chiefs Warriors fan in the year of our Lord 2023.
That's what I'm saying. She's definitely she has a valid reason for being a Chiefs fan because her dad was, so that's fair.
Fine, I'll give you that.
But
a Dubs fan?
Yeah, but she's definitely just a Steph Curry fan, and I hate her for it. So yeah, it was unbearable too. Like she put it on her story, like we won again. I'm just like, I was seething, but
you should do what Ball does to me. Whenever the Raptors lose, he just sends me
the box score.
The box score. Yeah.
Just does that to this day.
Especially with Cavs games. Like we Raptors and Cavs series, we won 3 of the 4. But the fourth one, all this LeBronto stuff, shit, like all this stuff.
Yeah.
Like, okay.
All right.
If it used to make me angry. Don't get me wrong, because it's just like, why the fuck are you doing this? But now it's just like, I know why you're doing it.
Yeah.
I talked a little about it earlier, but what do you think your past self would think of you now?
So my past self was kind of a dick. I'm not very proud of how I acted and held myself as like a 7th and 8th grader. Because I was a kid that I was good at sports, I was popular, I was good at school, so I thought I was hot shit. I was just the cockiest little bastard. I was so unbearable as a kid. I had a really good group of friends and a lot of people liked me, but looking back on it, it's the type of kid as an adult that you see and you're like, that kid's a little shit.
Yeah.
I was a cock, but I think I'd be astronomically proud of myself just because not even just from where I am right now, but just kind of what it took to get here. Especially if it knew going through COVID and going through different issues with girls and going through different health issues, just stuff like that. I know I'm nowhere close to perfect, but I feel like I stand here today and there's very few things in my life that I'm I should be doing more of this, but I'm not because I'm lazy, or I should be doing more of this because I don't want to. If there's something in my life right now that I really want, I have had very few obstacles, which has definitely been a blessing. I've had very few obstacles that have kept me from not necessarily achieving them, but at least putting in an effort to things that I'm gonna accomplish. So I think that's a big thing that I didn't do growing up is I wanted to fit this cool guy jock mold, and I didn't just do whatever I wanted to.
Mm-hmm.
I was just I gotta fit this mold, I gotta act a certain way. But just knowing that I kind of created myself into who I wanted to, and now I just kind of if something's on my mind and something sounds fun, I'm gonna go rip it. And I feel like I'd definitely be proud of myself for that.
Oh yeah, dude! Following the beat of your own drum.
Yeah, absolutely.
What do you think your purpose in life is?
When I think about something like this, this is the time where it kind of takes me away from the complex that you're the center of the universe. Because when I hear this question, my first initial reaction is not I'm gonna solve world hunger, I'm gonna change the world, I'm gonna be everybody's favorite celebrity. I've never had that kind of goal. I think that my job is being that side character in everybody's life. That's when you run into that person, it's a very refreshing interaction. Because obviously I'm a side character in your life.
I wouldn't say that.
Okay, but realistically, you are the main character in your life.
Yeah.
I'm the main character in my life. Everybody else is a side character.
Yeah.
Whether you're an important side character or not, that's different.
Yeah.
But in some aspect of me being a side character in somebody's life, I want it to be when you see me, whether it's whether you see me regularly or whether you see me once every 3 years, I want you to walk past me on the street, and if I don't see you, I want you to stop me because you want that conversation. That's how I hope that I can come across and become that person that when you see me, you're oh, Jared, it's great to see you. Even if it's just a quick conversation, 2 or 3 minutes, I hope my goal is just be someone in something, be the character in somebody's life to where when they see me, they, whether it's a long conversation or not, it's just oh man, good guy. Like that's just like that's all I strive to be. Is just like a quick like glimpse of happiness in somebody's day when they come across me. That's all I ask for.
That's incredibly wholesome.
I mean, that's what I'm saying. Is like that's because like I know I have so many people in my life. Like you're one of those people. Like if I ever saw you on campus, like there's like admittedly there's some of my friends that I see on campus and I'm just like not in a bad mood, or like I'm in a bad mood or just like not in the mood to talk, and I'll just like pretend like I don't see them. Like if I ever walked past you on campus, I'm not just gonna be like, I would never. Like, I don't think there's a situation in my life where I'd just be like, oh, I'm gonna pretend like I don't see him. I don't feel like talking to him right now. Like there's people in my life where it's like, if I'm in a shitty mood, even I don't want to talk to somebody, I'll talk to you for 30 seconds, be like, all right, man, I gotta get to class. But just like quick interactions, like just like seeing some people's faces, just like make my day. So that's, if I could be somebody like that, then I'd be good.
Are you fulfilled?
I'd say no. I'd say no just because I know I have like a lot of really great things going for me, and I'm like proud of who I've become and where I'm going, but like I don't think I'll ever let myself feel fulfilled on purpose, just because like you said, just constantly, like there's always room for improvement.
Mm-hmm.
If you let yourself become fulfilled, I don't think that's like you're becoming complacent. Like I think there's going to be a time in your life, hopefully when you're older, where you do feel fulfilled, and I really hope I do achieve that point, whether it's like after retirement and I have a family, or if I have grandkids or stuff like that, but like hopefully when I take my last breath I do feel fulfilled. But like at this point in my life, if I feel fulfilled, I feel like I would become complacent. And like whether it just be like a fitness goal or a learning goal or a career goal, I feel like I haven't really like reached any sort of potential yet. Like I feel like yes, I'm gonna graduate college. It's not like I retained every piece of knowledge that I learned here. It's not like I tried super hard in every class. So like, in order to feel fulfilled, I feel like that's definitely like a down the road kind of thing. I feel like it's too early for that.
Yeah, I definitely think that there is like something, or I mean, you know, we haven't like experienced a lot of life yet.
Yeah.
A lot of life yet.
Yeah.
But I think there is something of the temporary fulfillment of, you know, being able to enjoy the view before you get to the next mountaintop kind of thing. I don't know, because at the end of the day, like, at least my thought process is like, you can't do everything in this world.
Yeah.
Like, I would love to do everything in this world, but like you could have a trillion lifetimes and not experience everything. So just being able to enjoy and be fulfilled from what you can be.
Yeah, just to be content and to be happy are more than enough, and I feel like I am, and I feel like once I graduate I will feel a very large sense of achievement. But in order to stay fulfilled, I feel like that's just like something that's not capable with the amount of life experiences I've had so far.
Where do you see yourself going in the next 5 years, both personally and professionally?
Professionally, I hope I can move to a big city. I hope that I can move to some sort of aspect of my job in retail where it's like, I don't even know if I'm going to be in retail, but hopefully I'm still in retail, like some sort of design product base, because like what I'm doing like at a very entry level is a lot of like pricing stuff, a lot of sourcing stuff, a lot of like menial details. But I want to like really find like a product and a company that like I really align with the product, being able to design or just work with like third-party vendors to just bring in clothes or just items that I'm like really passionate about. I feel like it could be cool because, don't get me wrong, I love Kohl's and they have I wear a lot of Kohl's clothing.
Yeah, no, shout out Kohl's.
Yeah, shout out Kohl's. But it's not like a dream brand of mine. Like I don't find myself shopping there often. I probably wouldn't shop there ever if I didn't get a discount. So that's the thing, is like if I can really find a company and a product I can align with and be like some sort of either designing aspect or just working with the product hands-on, I think that'd be sick. But personally, it's hard to think about like, it's like when you think about somebody in like their mid-20s, you think about like dating, potentially marriage, like thoughts of a family, like that's just like so foreign to me right now that like I want to be healthy and I want to be in a spot where I wake up every day and I don't feel like work is misery, and I just want to be financially and emotionally stable. That's kind of like the biggest thing for me is, like, I know I'm probably not going to be making millions, and I know I'm probably not going to have, like, I might not have the love of my life at that point in time. So if I can just, like, wake up, be content where I'm at with my financials, be content where I'm at with my job, and just life in general, like, in 5 years, I just want to be happy. That's it.
It's a good way to look at it.
Yeah.
I'm a firm believer of you can't really plan your 20s, maybe a year or two, but
Yeah.
5 years is just like things happen.
Yeah. I was
Yeah.
gonna say, like, I don't know enough about being an adult to what 5 years would look like from now.
Yeah. For me, it's more just like it's fun looking back on what people say. It's
Yeah.
like it's almost like, you know, like when you're a kid and like those like little sheets like, where do you see yourself, like, you know, when you're 15, and then you write like something and then you get
Yeah.
to 15, like, well, that's different.
Yeah, it's funny because I remember I always like to bring up the story when everybody asks, like, oh, what did you want to be when you grow up? And I remember vividly getting a piece of paper in kindergarten. Like, I remember looking through my kindergarten eyes and be like, what's your dream job? And I wanted to be a mailman so bad. Like, just like the thought of driving a car all day and just like dropping off mail in a mailbox, like that was the dream to me. So
Simple and great.
yeah, so life changes, I guess. Like, I could always still be a mailman later in life.
Hey,
you know?
look, all I'm saying is this. I had the thought of being a trucker just because I love driving so much.
Yeah.
Just like going around seeing the country.
That's what I'm
like,
saying. Like, it's just like when you're a kid, you're just so infatuated with driving.
Yeah.
That mailman was me.
What do you want to have done by the next time we film a podcast episode? I don't know when that is, but I'm saying 3+ years from now.
I think I'm gonna say I want to have created something, and not like a sense of like I want to make the cure for cancer or like come up with some neat invention. But even this year, me and Logan toyed with the idea of like coming up with our own fitness brand. Like, we had t-shirt designs. We were gonna buy like a steam press, and like we were like fully committed to the idea. But like money got a little tight, and like we realized we had nowhere to store everything, and we didn't like really have a chance to like gauge demand, and it was just kind of like, I'm graduating soon, so it just kind of all fell apart. But I think if I had like my dream is always to like have a job, have an apartment, but then have this room in my house that's just littered with boxes of just like shirts that like I made, or like just like I really hope that like I can get into like textiles or sewing or just something, because like that's always so cool to me. Is like when I see somebody on TikTok and they're like, I made these pants and they turn out so sick, and they're like, you can buy these pants. I'm like, I want to buy your pants.
Yeah.
It's just like, yeah, it's like I've always been in love with fashion, and I think if I can create my own shirt or crew neck, or just like get into like sewing or something like that, like I want to be able to like create my own, not necessarily like just like a line of products, but just to like have boxes of like, if a friend comes over like, yeah, you want a t-shirt? Like, you made this? Like, yeah, like that. I think that'd be super cool.
That would be cool. If you need an investor, I'm willing to do $5,000 for 20% stake.
All right, I'll have to talk with the financial team, and we'll get back to you on that.
Yeah, I'll get a panel. We can do a whole Shark Tank thing. But I fuck with that, and if/when you do create that, let me know, because yeah, I'm in.
Okay.
Yeah. So that's the end of the conversational part of this podcast. Wrapping up, just got some quick hitters for you.
Okay.
First thing comes to your mind, if you need time to think, go for it. Just try not to overthink it.
Okay.
All right. This is a moment in the mind of Jared David Morris.
True.
David, right?
True.
Drew. Jared Drew Morris. I was free.
You got the D right. That counts.
Okay.
It's close enough.
Yeah. I might just ADR that and just fix it. So I'm a fucking idiot. If you have not.
You're
Yeah.
so good. I don't care.
What's a song that has been stuck in your head recently?
Have you ever heard the song Under Cover of Darkness by The Strokes?
I don't know.
It was a 2K song.
Okay.
So you'd probably recognize it.
Yeah.
But my roommate started, so like it was a song, and I think it was like 2K13.
Yeah.
Maybe even 2K13, 16, but early.
Yeah.
So it was more than 5 years ago since I'd last listened to it. And Timmy was playing it in the shower, and I had the craziest flood of nostalgia, and I added it to like my indie playlist and my white people music playlist. Shout out to my white people music. And I'd say I listen to it every day. It's
yeah.
it's an addiction, so easily.
I love when songs do that.
Have you ever heard any music by The Strokes?
Yeah.
Okay, I was gonna say.
Reptilia is a banger.
Yes, that's okay,
Yeah.
absolutely. Yeah.
I feel you though with the 2K like flashbacks, like I don't know, you know the song Remember the Name?
Yeah.
Yeah, so I have
Oh, that song is so nostalgic.
I just remember like being in my friend's basement playing like NBA Live like 07, 06
Mhm.
like on the GameCube and just trying to like just fucking around with that, like playing with the 70s All-Stars and just remember the name. Like
Yeah.
first time I heard it like a year or two ago, I was like, holy
I
shit.
know. There was obviously you know the song We Major.
Yeah.
So that was in 2K, and we found like I think that was 2K13, and me and my house played against Logan in his house in basketball, like a 5-on-5 series,
Mhm.
and we like brought the speaker and like played My Park music in the background. It
Fuck
felt unreal. It
That's
was
so cool.
It was so sick. So yeah.
Yeah, I'm high key jealous of that.
Yeah, it was cool.
Yeah. What's one of your favorite quotes or lyrics?
So I'm gonna say this is my favorite quote because it's actually my background on my phone. It's called "Burn the Boats." So Hernando Cortez was a Spanish conqueror, and he's actually like super racist. So like I don't associate with him as a person.
Yeah.
But they landed. I forget which territory it was, but they landed on the territory, and his crew was like, "All right, so what's the plan?" And he said, "Burn the boats." And he's like, "What are you talking about?" He's like, "What happens if like things start to go south? Like we need an escape plan." And he's like, "Burn the boats." And he's like, "That's suicide." And like his idea behind Burn the Boats was, I don't believe in plan Bs. Like we're going. Don't in your mind think that if things go wrong, we can do something else. Like you need to be fully committed to this. Like we're taking over this territory or we're dying.
Yeah.
And I think that's a really cool mindset because like obviously it doesn't have to be like fucking war where it's like you do this or you die, but in terms of like I've tried to create that mindset for my life where it's like if I set myself up to like if I think of something and like I like from a let's say from a professional perspective, like if I want this job, I don't want to think in the back of my head like, oh, if I don't get it I can just apply somewhere else, because then you won't put everything you have into it. So if you think and you have the mindset like if I don't get this job I will never be hired anywhere else, then you put so much effort and so much consideration into everything you do that like you're going full force at it, like you're gonna get that job whether it kills you or not.
Yeah.
If you go into just like anything in your life with that mindset, like you'd be so surprised how much more you can accomplish, because like it's so easy to think that like if I don't do this like I'm gonna be fine, but if you think about it like what if I don't, what if I'm not fine, like and obviously like that mindset can be like a little demanding and like a little bit too excessive.
Yeah.
But if you like apply it like it's like especially to something like the gym, like this is what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna get in shape and there's no other option. Like I don't believe in like, oh, if I can get fit like in a year if I don't do it today, like I'm gonna do it today, I'm gonna do it tomorrow, and I'm gonna get fit. Like there's no plan B, and I think that's like a really cool mindset to have.
Burn the boats.
Burn the boats.
That might be I might add that to my quote list.
Do it. Burn the boats.
Burn the boats. What's the best show or movie you've seen the past month?
The past month, so a couple days ago, might be recency bias, but I also don't watch a lot of movies or shows. Full Swing. Full Swing on
PGA
Netflix.
Tour?
Yeah. It's so I've always loved golf. Every time I'm eating, like I got golf in the background, whether it's live, whether it's on YouTube. Like every meal is golf. And when you watch golf, you'll see like a player like shank a shot. You're like, that's terrible. Like how are they that bad? Like
Yeah. Then you go out.
yeah, obviously, yeah. Then you go out and you shank yourself. But in your mind, you're like, these are professionals. Like, how are they missing these putts? How are they doing this? And I feel like Full Swing does like a really good job of like breaking down the mental aspect of golf.
Mm-hmm.
So like you'll be like, how was Brooks Koepka, one of the best golfers? How did he win 4 majors in 4 years? And then all of a sudden he's just like not relevant anymore. And it just breaks down the mental aspect and everything you have to go through in your relationship with your caddy, and you're always on the road, and your relationship with your family, and it just makes everything in golf like so much more real and so much more personable. Like when you watch so I finished the show and then I started watching the Arnold Palmer Invitational, and like seeing the people that were on the show, like seeing their approach to every shot, and like when they shank one, you're like, oh my gosh, I bet they were like, I bet they're like so mad at themselves, and then they gotta go and approach this next shot, and they're all rattled mentally. Like it's just a really cool way to look at golf.
Yeah, I've been meaning to watch that. Especially not a pro golfer, but
yeah, you were playing high school.
No, dude, like they're having a bad hole. Like it's almost like I've talked about Ben this about poker. It's like you have to like just forget it. You have to just move on.
Yeah, and it's
so hard.
Yeah.
Because then you play tilted, and if you play tilted, you just play so much worse, and then that feeds into it.
Yeah. Like they showed, I forget who the golfer was. I think it was Thigala. He had a 1-stroke lead in the 18th hole of, I think it was the U.S. Open. And he walks, everybody's done. He's the last golfer. He has a 1-stroke lead. All he has to do is par the hole. He can even bogey for a playoff. And he walks up to the first tee box, shanks his. I think he took a 3-wood off the tee box, shanked it into the water. Immediate penalty strokes, got to go up and down to win it. Plays it long, has to chip in for par, sails it over the green, and then 3 putts, and played himself into third.
Damn.
Like a whole.
That's a heartbreaker.
That's what I'm saying is like, it'd be different if you played, you had a shitty hole, but to go to the last hole and have a chance to win a major and $3 million, and you walk away with only like $300K.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that's. Yeah, but no, that show's incredible. You should definitely watch it.
Yeah, I will. What's the best thing you've binged recently?
I watched all of the Murdaugh murders in one day.
Gonna have to watch that.
Yeah, it's like 3 or 4 episodes. It's literally just about like this really rich family in the South that like owns like. They're like the big lawyers in town, and their one kid is like a drunk degenerate, and he like killed somebody on a boat, and then they like go back in time, and there's like a bunch of crimes linked to them. It's a mess, but it's really good.
Yeah.
Definitely should watch it.
Going to. What is the best book you read recently?
I'd probably say, just going back to like the Stoicism I read. Yeah, I think Meditations by Marcus Aurelius was probably the best book, and it's like not like a super fun read because it's like a journal of a former emperor. So it's like a lot of times it's just like blurbs of thoughts.
Yeah.
But it was really cool, just the Stoic mindset of like how you are like there's gonna be a lot of things that happen in the world around you, but you're kind of in control of like how you interpret it and how it affects your life. So I thought it kind of really changed how I view a lot of things today. So
definitely gonna need to read that. What is your current job?
Currently a bouncer at Ethel. I have a job lined up to be a merchandise assistant at Kohl's in Milwaukee after I graduate, but right now I get paid to beat up drunk freshmen.
That's the goal. That's the dream, honestly.
Yeah, that's what I do.
Yeah. Do you want kids, and if so, how many?
I do want kids because, one, my mom really wants grandkids, and I think that like there comes a point in life where it's like everybody talks about that's the greatest point in your life is having kids.
Mm-hmm.
I think 3 is where I draw the magic number of max. Right now, it's not really something I can wrap my head around, obviously, because I'm 22.
Yeah.
But I can see myself having kids one day. 3 I could probably do, but right now it's just like, do I really want kids? Like, I don't know. Like, I get stressed out about the idea of adulting. Like, am I gonna fuck my kid up? Like, so right now I can see myself having kids, but I'm not married to the idea.
Yeah, I gotcha. Do you have a favorite conspiracy theory?
Bush did 9/11.
That's facts.
There's one night where I was at home over Christmas break. I had a frozen margarita. I threw in 2 Zins, and I put on a 9/11 conspiracy documentary, and it all just made sense in my head. And there's a lot of things that I need the government to prove wrong before I fully accept there's just a lot of things that don't make sense. I'm not saying Bush did 9/11, but I'm just saying that what is claimed to be the truth doesn't make perfect sense.
It has gaps in logic.
There's a lot of gaps in the logic.
What I would give to see you on or Frozen Margarita Tuesday instead of watching a 9/11 conspiracy.
To be a fly on the wall, that was probably wasn't the highest moment of my life.
Still, great time.
No, it was always a blast.
Yeah. What is your favorite spot to eat nearby, whether it be sit down or fast food?
I fucking love Roosters.
Banger.
Roosters is crazy. I'm surprised how many people are from northern Ohio and stuff like that have never had Roosters, because it's all over Dayton, it's all over Columbus.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember I took Filer and his family to Roosters when they visited once, and now their family's addicted. They go to Roosters every time they come here, and the wings are just incredible.
There's no reason it should be as under the radar as it is.
Oh my gosh, the wings are so fat too. You get 10 boneless wings, and I've never finished all 10.
Yeah,
it's so good.
No, it's you go to B-Dubs or Wingstop. It's
B-Dubs
same
is
price, but
deplorable.
so much
B-Dubs
better.
is deplorable.
It's so yeah.
Yeah.
No, I haven't been to B-Dubs since we stopped living in Bowen.
Yeah.
Remember
Yes.
they had the codes every day.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, we used to run B-Dubs pockets. That's wild. Because we didn't have to get out of bed. We could just. Oh, I forgot about that. That's crazy. I'm so glad you said that. We would literally just wake up and rip codes. That's.
A whole group chat. Right?
I know. That's so absurd to me. Okay. Wow. I'm glad you said that.
Yeah.
I'm gonna take that back to the house, because there's no way anybody remembers that. That's absurd.
Dude, I love a good deep cut memory of something that you're never gonna remember again, but you just remember.
No chance I'll remember that. Thank you so much for that. Okay.
For sure. What's something that you think is underrated?
One of the most underrated lifts you can have, because my entire life revolves around lifting.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, I think if you make, so I have this playlist on SoundCloud. It's just a bunch of sad songs that are slowed and reverbed.
Mm-hmm.
If you just you don't even have to be heartbroken, but if you just put yourself in the mind of a heartbreak and lift to that sad music, it's one of the greatest experiences ever. You just feel so locked. You literally you feel like the main character. You just sit there and you just zone out. And you just stare into space, and people walk by, and you don't even somebody walks in front of you and you casually glance at them and then go back to it. You just sit there and they'll walk by, and you're just locked. Lonely by Akon plays slowed and reverb, and you're just sitting there just my life sucks. And you just sit there and you just pump a bunch of weight. I've had some of the best lifts of my life. And then when you're done, you're like, oh, that was good. Back to my happy life. It's a cool experience. I love it.
Definitely gonna need to try that.
Yeah, it's
find myself a slow and reverb playlist.
Oh my gosh, dude, it's nuts. Put a bunch of Cuddy on, slowed and reverb, and you just sit there and you're just if I don't lift this, I'm gonna die.
I don't think I'm trying to cry in the gym, bro.
No, I'm telling you, that's what it is. It's a game changer.
Oh yeah. What's your biggest hot take?
I don't know if you're gonna like this.
Go for it.
I think Eminem is terrible. We had this conversation. Funny you said this. I came home from work one night and my roommates were still up for some reason, and they were drunk in the living room, and they asked me for my hot take, and I forget what I said in the moment, but somebody was like, Eminem is the greatest rapper of all time, and I'm like, yes, you're right, that is a hot take.
Yeah.
I'm not going to disrespect anything he's done for the rap game. I'm not going to disrespect him and say that his music is bad, but the shit he says is just so corny to me. And it's I've never been really big into lyrical rappers. I've never been a huge Kendrick Lamar fan either. Mm-hmm. But I know Kendrick Lamar is one of the goats. I love I respect a lot of his music.
Yeah.
But that's an awfully hot coffee pot. Shit like that is just ingrained in my brain. And when I hear Eminem rap, it's it's so corny to me. I don't know what it is. And it's not even he's he's a rich white guy. I know he came from the streets. He came from 8 Mile. He really made it out of the trenches. So it's not he's rapping about superficial shit. It's just the way he says it, and his flow is just so running. The song Rap God just makes me cringe. Oh, I can't do it.
He should have stayed retired. Honestly, because my favorite line to shit on. It's not even just Eminem. It's anything.
Yeah.
His last album he put out. Someone sent me this. You know Chris Christophilus? Well, I'm Pistophilus. That is an actual line that he wrote and put into a song. Someone okayed it.
Yeah, somebody listens to us like, yo, that's that shit. That's fire, drop it. Like I'm pissed off of it.
Come on. Like,
oh, I can't do it. He says too much corny shit. Like, I can't do that.
No, I'm telling you, like, and the amount of people that, like, worship him. Like,
so what I'm saying is, like, the guy who said that Eminem is, like, the best rapper of all time, I was just like, I disagree entirely. It's like, well, you gotta agree he's the best lyricist of all time. I'm like,
no.
Do you forget Lil Wayne exists? Like, I think Lil Wayne's a better lyricist than him. I don't know.
It's the kind of people that say, like, rap's a mountain, it's all white on top.
Yeah, right. It's like, Eminem 1, Macklemore 2.
Post Malone changed the game. Yeah. What's your biggest pet peeve?
So like this is kind of like unique, but it's like when somebody is like making somebody's life more difficult than it needs to be.
Mm-hmm.
So like when somebody's like complaining to a waitress and it's like really not her fault and they're being like over the top about it, or like I had an intramural game and last night and one of the guys on my team is just like screaming at the ref the whole game and it's just like some fucking student and or just like it's like when like a teacher's like presenting in class and somebody's just like talking or like just like not giving a fuck about the lecture. Like, don't get me wrong, I don't pay attention to class and like I talk here and there, but like people are like talking really loud and like the teacher's like obviously trying to get everybody's attention, or I don't know, just like especially the waitress thing, like when somebody's like ordering at a restaurant, it's just like overly rude, just like it just makes me so angry. I don't know what it is.
No, I completely agree. Like people that like yell at or like people like that yell at people that are working like flight desks and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Like it's like one of the rules of life I feel like is be nice to service people because neither of you want to be in that situation. You know?
I mean, it's just I just think it's so embarrassing when like somebody's like fucking over the top screaming and everybody's just like trying to do their job and go home. Like I can't stand it.
Oh, fuck that. What's your biggest insecurity?
I'd say probably my intelligence. Like my imposter syndrome is like top of the top. Like every time I go into an internship or go into a job, like I think back, I'm like, okay, I can do this, and like I know I'm gonna learn and I'm gonna like teach myself how to do it. But like part of me is like somebody's gonna ask me the question like, did you not learn this in college? And like when I think back, like if somebody were to like put a gun to my head and be like, yo, what did you learn in college? I don't know. Like I don't know what I learned. Like I learned that like I have a good work ethic and like I can learn things for periods of time. But if somebody like when we play Jeopardy in my house, like they'll ask a question about like something that they learned in like AP US history in high school and they're like, oh, of course I remember that. I don't remember shit, dude. Like I don't remember anything that I learned. Like it's so, that's what I'm saying. It's like so alarming that like obviously like I got good grades in these classes and I took exams and like I passed calculus. Like I knew it at some point, but like I go back and I think about it and like there's like simple things like that like just like the general like knowledge questions that I just don't know. Like and it just like stresses me out when my roommates are all just like ripping off Jeopardy questions and like people are talking about like what they're learning in engineering. I'm like, oh my god, I don't know anything. Like that's probably it.
School's a memorization game at this point. Like I think as a society do a lot better if we actually like instead of just quizzing on specific facts, we did like applied knowledge.
Yeah.
Like, math is the closest thing that we have to that, but even that's like it's math, so who the fuck cares?
Yeah.
But no, like memory is hard.
Yeah.
Especially names and faces.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I'm really good with faces, but names, don't even try.
I feel you. Yeah. Now, what's your favorite quality about yourself?
I'd say my dedication to things, whether it be like a friend asking for a favor, or whether it be the gym, or whether it be a diet that I'm going on. Like if I care about you and somebody's like the other day, my buddy needed me to go pick up his mom halfway from Columbus to Cleveland, and he knew I didn't have class on Wednesday, and I was at the gym at the time. Like I I had just started lifting. I was like just finishing up my cardio, and he's like, "Hey, is there a way you can meet my mom?" And I think it was like the edge of Mansfield, like 40 minutes away.
Yeah.
In like an hour and a half. I'm like, sure. Like I did a super quick lift, went home, showered, and I didn't even end up having to pick her up. Like he called me, he's like, "Hey man, sorry. She's just gonna drive the whole way." I was like, okay, cool. But like,
Yeah.
if like my dedication to like my relationships with people, like the things that I want to accomplish, I feel like I'm always pretty good. Like yeah, especially as a senior, like if I know I need to wake up early and go to the gym, sometimes I'll snooze. Like sometimes I'll be like I'll go to the gym later. But in terms of like when I really like was locked in and like I want to change the way I look, I want to change the way I eat, I want to change the way that I go about my day. Like I'd set an alarm for 6 and I was up. So just I feel like I do a good job of pushing myself.
Yeah. Grind don't stop, huh?
Never.
Yeah.
Never.
You have a favorite outfit?
I'm gonna be honest. Right now, I think I'm wearing my favorite outfit.
Damn.
I'm not gonna lie. I wear this Arkansas crew neck all the time. I got the cargo joggers from H&M that I like. They were joggers, but like I cut them so that they're like kind of high rise, and they got like the little tethered look at the bottom. Got my 574 New Balances on, people. I like this outfit because one, I usually wear a white tee underneath it so that it like shows a little bit, just so it's layered.
Yeah.
This is vintage, and I love Arkansas just because like they always cover the spread against Alabama, and that's why I love them. And then cargos are like really in right now. These are probably like the pants that fit me the best, and then these are just basic shoes. They're comfy, but I'd say I would be very shocked if a week went by and I didn't wear either this crew neck or these pants. Like I wear these shoes pretty regularly, so I wouldn't count those. But like in terms of these pants and this crew neck, like I wear these pretty much weekly.
I fuck with it. And go Razorbacks, too.
Yes, go Hogs.
I think you're the first person to like come like, because usually someone might be wearing like one thing.
Yeah.
It's like coming in the full fit.
Yeah, I was gonna say like so my shoes, I do have a pair of Vans, like all white low top Vans that I lift in that are like my favorite shoes right now, but I only strictly lift in them. Just like keep them clean and keep them in decent condition. So like those are my favorite, but this is in terms of just like walking around, like this is it.
Fuck with it.
Yeah, because I didn't come straight from the gym. I did go home and shower.
Okay, yeah, I didn't want to, I wanted to beat the allegations though.
No, you did. Dude, I still remember that day. I was pissed. They showed that on the news and I was like, I saw you, like, oh, I look terrible.
Yeah.
Whatever.
Yeah, when I first ran into him, like, if this kid just came from the lift, like, he's like shining. Like,
yeah.
how does he do it?
Trust me, I did go home and shower this time. Because I remembered, because in my mind, I'm like, oh, cool. I'm going to walk to the gym, walk to the Union, and then walk to Knowlton and do some work. And then I don't know what, I just had a brain fart. I drove to the gym. And as soon as I got out of my car, I'm like, shit, my car's here. Like, I can't leave this here. So then I just cut my workout shirt, drove home, and then showered and then got here.
Bad. Yeah. Speaking of, what's your biggest hobby?
God, I have to say it.
That's what I
Yeah, I'm addicted to lifting. I like how much it's done for me, like how good it makes me feel. Like I'm starting to get like spring break is in 2 days. Yeah, God, I'm leaving for spring break. Yeah, I'm leaving for spring break in 2 days. So like I'm down to like 160. I still feel pretty strong. Like I'm vascular. Like when I like go to the gym and I get like a sick pump, I'm like, this is the best feeling in the world. So I have a crippling gym addiction. I'm addicted to pre-workout. Yeah.
There's much worse things we do.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair. I could be addicted to, and I gave up Zins for Lent, so I haven't Zinned in a long time.
Is Lent just Fridays or is that every day?
No, it's every day.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
Proud of you.
Thank you.
Yeah. You're starting on a deserted island. You can only bring one thing. If you bring technology, there's no cell service, and you can't bring like a boat.
Okay.
Anything else goes. What are you bringing?
This might be too literal, but just like a survival guide.
Yeah.
Because like I'm not very resourceful, and I'm not very like, I never did Boy Scouts. I've never spent a weekend in the woods camping. Like,
yeah,
my knowledge of the world and the wilderness, like I would be toast out there. Like I couldn't even tell you how to begin to start a fire. I couldn't tell you what berries you can and can't eat. Like I would be screwed. So just like some sort of like Bear Grylls survival guide or something. Maybe even hopefully a book that comes with a survival kit. But I would be toast out there. So I'm taking that literally and saying like I need help surviving.
That's a great answer. First of all, I want to say to all the people that say a person, like, fuck that, you're just taking someone to the wilderness. But, like,
Yeah, that's fucked up, man.
yeah, I know, right? It's like, yeah, my girlfriend, but it's like, now she's on there.
Yeah, she could be fucking at home in her
Yeah.
bed. It
No,
sucks.
as someone that is not an outdoorsy person at all, like, I might be taking that answer
Oh,
in the future.
I'm screwed.
Yeah, no, just Jared Ford's survival guide.
Oh my gosh.
Eat the good ones.
Yeah,
I don't know.
don't die.
Yeah.
Do a push up. That's it.
Dude, legit, like, if you had like 5 bushels of berries in front of me, like one of these is poisonous.
I'm
probably
one
eat
of,
the poisonous
one of 5. I'd probably end up picking the poisonous one first.
Exactly.
Like I'd be trash.
Yeah. Who are your best friends?
Oh, that's gonna be cool. I like that. I like that question. So definitely best friends are the kids that I live with. Matt, Aaron, Blake, Timmy, Connor. Love those kids. Logan is probably my best friend, just because like I basically talk to him every day. We work together. We work out all the time. Like he probably has the most similarities to me on this campus. He hated me at first, which is funny, but definitely my best friend. His house, like Mason, Jordan, Alan, Cooper, Tyler, love those kids. And then just like my PC for Dell, love those kids, love the Dell kids. But in terms of just like my best friends, I definitely just go with like my roommates and Logan and his house.
Shout out to all of them.
Yeah.
I know at the very least your house and Logan. I'm trying to get on here, so
Yeah, Logan would love this.
Yeah.
I have to get him on here.
I'm so fucking excited. Yeah. What are you curious about?
I'm curious to see like where the world is going to evolve to when I'm an adult, because like a lot, like you think back like when our parents were kids, like the internet is just an absurd concept.
Yeah.
Like that, if you would have told my mom about the internet in college, she would have like thrown up on the ground. Like that's so absurd to me, and it's like I feel like this is like a little bit different because like now that technology has gotten to where it is, you kind of fear like, you know, the ending of WALL-E when everybody's like fat and like there's like hover chairs and shit like that. Like how far is the world going to come? Is going to be like we're selling a pill that if you take it, it's all of your nutrients and protein that you're going to need for the day, and all you have to, you're going to feel full. All you do is take it, and everybody's going to be jacked and like everybody's going to be healthy, or is it going to be like you are in a VR world and that's where your job is and people feed you? I'm genuinely curious to see like where technology is going to take the world. Like how, like is there going to be a Terminator type AI world? Like there's just, especially with like ChatGPT and stuff like that, like where is AI and technology going to take the world? Like that kind of enamors me, and like a lot of like it seems scary at sometimes. It seems like cool. I'm excited at sometimes, but at the same time, I'm just gonna like let life take its course and figure itself out.
Yeah, I mean, your guess is as good as mine, but it's crazy to me to think that like this entire room would be one computer, and it's not even like not even a fraction of what's in our like pockets right now.
Right. It's absurd.
You just can't guess it.
No.
Yeah. What's something that you have to do every day?
Yeah, so I'm not saying go to the gym because I have skipped believe it or not, I have skipped the gym a couple times this year. I have to listen to music. That's like, whether it's like getting ready to go to class or getting ready to go to the gym, like I feel like music is like a really easy way to set your mood. Like if the sun is out, and like you may have like woken up tired, or like you really don't want to do something, but you put on like some upbeat music, you put on like some indie, some summer songs, just kind of give you like the motivation to go through the day. If I'm like showering, even if it's just like a podcast, like I have to listen to something. I don't think I've gone a day this year where I haven't at least woken up and listened to music while I get ready, or listen to music at the gym. or like listen to music in the shower or just like right before bed, but I have to listen to music at some point every day.
That's a good answer. What is your proudest accomplishment?
Knock on wood, but graduating college. I think if you would have told me in high school that I was able to do it, like I would have believed you, because like school was easy to me at the time.
Yeah.
But then once I got here, and like I got my first microeconomics grade back and I failed it. I got a 55 on my first ever college exam. I'm like, oh shit, maybe I'm not gonna make it. And like, I know it's like realistically, because like you've done it, all of our friends have done it. Like, it's easy to say it's not that hard.
Yeah. But that first semester.
Yeah.
Is,
That's what I'm saying. It's like you'd be surprised how many people don't go to college or drop out. So it's like obviously it's not that easy, but yeah, I'm proud of myself for pushing through.
Oh yeah, proud of you.
Thank you.
What's one thing you want to own?
I want a Tesla, or just like a really nice like electric powered vehicle, because like obviously like for the sustainability impact, but like
Yeah.
like I remember I had a service event when I was working for Smuckers, and I drove up to Akron, and one of my coworkers pulled up in a Tesla, and like it has to beep when it goes backwards because it's so quiet. It has to let people know that it's going backwards, and the screen on it, and it's just like it goes so fast and it's such a smooth ride. Like I think that'd be such a sick car to have. So I got that. Yeah.
Fuck yeah. We've been environmentally friendly too.
Come on.
Yeah. Speaking of, what do you think the price of gas will be by the next time we film?
Oh God. What is it right now? Like
I want to say it's like 380s, 390s.
Damn. I'm gonna go 329 on the nose.
Damn. Very specific.
Yep.
Yeah.
Market.
Mark. Where do you want to visit next?
So I went to Manchester 2 summers ago,
Mhm.
and I'm gonna have some time before I move to Milwaukee after I graduate. So in August, I'm hoping to visit somewhere in Western Europe, whether it be like Spain, or if I go to France or go to Italy or something like that, or even if I visit like Asia or go to China or Japan or something like that. I think I have to go Italy. France, Spain, France, Italy, Japan, China. One of those 5. If I don't visit one of those 5 in August this summer, I would be very disappointed in myself.
The usual post-grad.
I'm gonna make it happen.
Yeah, no, I fuck with it, especially Japan on there is a great
I think
addition.
that'd be super cool.
Yeah, no, you're gonna have a ton of fun wherever you do land up. Yeah. What's one piece of advice you have for yourself, for the world, for me, whoever?
If you want something bad enough, you can do it. There's a lot of times that like in our mind, we set barriers and boundaries that don't really exist. Like a lot of times a goal can seem like lofty or unachievable, or like you'd be like, oh, I don't have enough time, you get caught up in everything. But like if you really, like going back to the burn the boats thing, like you really want something bad enough, you can do it. And like that's it's funny because like I say this to myself in my head probably 4 or 5 times a day. Like when I wake up in the morning and I really don't want to get out of bed, or if I'm in the gym and I'm in like the middle of a set and I don't want to finish it, or if I'm like driving past McDonald's and I'm like, I really don't need a Big Mac right now. I always tell myself, how bad do you want it?
Yeah.
And it really just comes down to it is like if you, in your mind you tell yourself like how bad do you want it, and you can answer that, and that answer is truthfully like I want it more than you know, then you can really do anything you want.
Oh yeah, I love it. And last but not least, top 5.
I'm gonna start off with 4. Just 5. Top 5. So
Yeah.
My mind went to Mount Rushmore. I'm going 5. Fantasy football Sundays.
Great answer. Fantastic answer, actually.
I'm gonna go 4. Chips and dip, whether it's like chips and salsa or chips and queso or chips and guac, or even like Ruffles and like French onion. I'm going chips and dip. 3, I'm gonna go hitting a PR in the gym.
Does feel
Such
great.
a loser.
No. Dude, moving up weights does something to your brain, I swear to God.
I swear to God, like, especially the first time you hit 225 on bench, you become a new human being. Number 2 is Drake.
The musician, right?
Yes,
Okay,
yes,
just
yes,
want to make
yes.
sure.
Drake the GOAT.
Yeah.
And number 1, I'm gonna go sunshine. The sun and being warm.
Vitamin D.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So like, I don't care what's going on in the world, how miserable I am. If I walk out of my house and I have shorts and a t-shirt on, and it's 80 degrees with a light breeze, you can't say shit to me. You have to be happy.
That's a fantastic day.
Yeah. I'm content with that top 5.
That's a great
Yeah,
top
off the
5.
dome, I'm cool with that.
I gotta say, no, this is the one question I fear the most because I have no idea.
Yeah.
Like, it's such a big question, you know?
I was gonna say, because like I was racking my brain and like I'm just trying to think of like what all I enjoy like 100% of the time.
Yeah,
But yeah, I'm cool with that.
it's a great top 5.
Yeah.
A great way to end this episode of this podcast.
This is fucking awesome, dude. I can't believe this was 3 hours.
I know, right?
This is awesome.
The best part is watching this back in like 7 months when I eventually get it back to you. Like,
I can't wait. I cannot fucking wait.
now my favorite part is, so I did this last summer, like when everyone was starting to move out, and then like by the time they got their episodes, they're already like moved in the new place. There's no way I'm gonna be able to get it back to you before you move.
No chance.
Yeah, but I don't know. It's a fun way to look back at life.
Yeah. Oh, I can't wait to get this back.
Yeah.
Jared, hope you're doing good.
Yeah. How do you want to end this thing?
Landon, I love you. Thank you for having me. You will be dearly missed when I'm in Milwaukee. You're one of my best friends. You really shaped how I viewed college, how I enjoyed my freshman year. Don't do drugs, and unless it's like really fun. And yeah, how bad do you want it?
How bad do you want it?
Cool.
Sweet.
Landon. I appreciate it, buddy.
Such a
Dude, this
wholesome-
was so fun.
Dude, that was such a wholesome thing. Oh my
Yeah,
God.
I can't wait.